Where's Ghosty? Doing a live show without the big fella himself? Surely that is a fucking stabbing. Hello, what's going on, guys? It's Preachy, and I am sitting here all alone with my lonesome on a Friday night. Sad days, sad days. So what are you thinking about? Why are we here today? Is it not the normal web show that's going to be next Saturday? This is an impromptu web show. Why? Because I didn't put out any good fucking videos this week. I put one out, the Advanced Warrior Guide. I thought was pretty fucking sweet, but I've been so busy that I did not get to do a lot of YouTube stuff. So I thought, what the hell? My fiance has taken an impromptu visit to a conference, therefore leaving this home alone for me. Fuck yeah, baby, because when we know it, when nerds are always happy when the lady fucks off and we can sit at our PC and be total ballers. That's what we want to do. It's a boner alert, baby. And to the guy asking exactly when, how long am I live streaming for? Going to be about an hour, I think, maybe a little bit longer. We'll see. We'll see. But I'm here without Ghosty, and that's a sad day. Ghosty's at home looking with the baby. He's in the chat. He's doing his daddy thing. That's cool. That's cool. No complaints from me. No complaints from me. So today is story day. Couple of stories for you. Couple of little stories because I thought I'd share with you. If I'd put no YouTube stuff out, I'll have a little drink. Got myself some nice Jack Daniels and cola and sit here and talk to you ballers about various things, okay? Because I think it's important as the channel's growing now. We're up to like 3,500 viewers. It's important that you guys start to understand exactly who is telling you this stuff. Who are you talking to? Who are you listening to, more importantly? And is it worth listening to? And where did we get from where we started to where we are now? So, what I have for you is a couple of topics I've written down and gone through some memories of stuff, and which ones are you more importantly wanting to listen to? I have considered doing how I met Mr. Ghost. How did I meet Mr. Ghost and how did that come about? Because I think that's actually a really good story. And also how I got into gaming. So whichever one of those you want to hear, just say in the chat. I will talk to you. I know there's not a lot of people here tonight because it was impromptu. Only announced it yesterday. But that's just the way it rolls, doesn't it, guys? So while we're doing that, I'm going to answer a couple of the emails you guys have been sending because I haven't even had time to reply to my emails, which is really sad, actually. I like replying to my emails, but I've not had a lot of time to do it. Loads of emails coming in about various different Star Wars classes, Marauders specifically. I had an email from Gobby who asked me about the Marauder. I don't know yet, okay? We will eventually get there, guys. That's all I can tell you. We're eventually going to get there. We're going to find out about all the Star Wars classes. Ghost is now playing 2 classes, which is awesome. He's Captain's Assassin, and he's got another class, and he's going to get into that. He's going to really show us some stuff and film some stuff with that class, and he's enjoying it a hell of a lot. So with people asking about various different Star Wars classes, I'm going to get there, guys, as soon as I can. I haven't even capped my own character yet, being on the road so much. Bit of a pain in the arse, I know. Now, why do I like replying to the emails and stuff this way? If you've got a problem, guys, and you want to PM it to me, be aware there's probably thousands of other people who've got the same problem. That's the most important part. And so when I spend my time replying to you guys via email, via private message on YouTube, I should be replying to everybody, really, because they've probably got the same sort of problem, okay? That's the main crux of it. So, the other big email we had was about SOPA. God, I'm sick of hearing about SOPA. Yes, it's bad. I've done a reply in the Preach on the Road stuff of what I think about SOPA. There's much bigger YouTubers dealing with SOPA, guys. Massive amounts of people dealing with SOPA. And that's all about it. So go find... SOPA is bad. If you're in the US, especially, do something about it. Please, just hold it off. It's going to be here long enough. It's absolutely going to be here at some point in the near future, guys. It's going to be there. Clicking. Jack Daniels, baby! Clicking. Loads of emails about clicking and saying that clicking is equally as good as key binding. It isn't, okay, guys? I've done 2 or 3 videos on it now, proving without a shadow of a doubt that it's worse. And people are really struggling to get into key binding. And they're asking me a lot about the Razer Naga. Will the Razer Naga stop me being a clicker? Absolutely not. Absolutely not, guys. The Razer Naga will not stop you being a clicker, unfortunately. It will not stop you being a clicker. But I also had an argument with a guy on the YouTube video about, he said he was a clicker because he clicked things like Hearthstone, things like that. That's not a clicker. If you're clicking your combat spells, you're all good, baby. You're all good. Remember, the 2 topics I'm bringing up is how I met Ghosty, which is a good story, and how I got into gaming. Both good things, okay? I've got some pictures and shit lined up for you. It's going to be pretty cool. So again, just throw in there whichever one you want to see or want to hear from. The big one, picking a main character in an MMO. A lot of people ask me this. I'll just read this email that I got. Hello, long time watcher, first time viewer here. I seek your wisdom. People thinking I'm wise, not sure about that. For I have a small problem, for I'm an alcoholic, and I cannot pick a main to save my life. I would like to know how you would go about picking a main character. Big topic, guys. Picking a main character, that's not easy. It took me years. It took me a long ass time, and then I still switched eventually. Because our tastes and our preferences change over time. One thing I can tell you is the only way you're realistically going to pick a main character is to play them all. But you can make it easier. That's what I'm here to tell you. You can make it easier, okay? Let's say you're not sure. First of all, break it down into a 3-category system, baby. You're going to be a healer, you're going to be a DPS, or you're going to be a tank. You can easily pick something like that. So if it's World of Warcraft, I'd suggest go ahead and pick a druid. Druids can be all 3. Druids can pick all 3, so you can switch between them quite easily. But then find out, test them in a dungeon. Do you like healing? Did you find that fun? Then maybe you should think about being a healer. Then you've only got 4 classes to go at. Did you like tanking? Now you've only got 4 classes still to go at. Do you like DPSing? Then you've got a whole range of classes, and then you can pick it in. Do you like being a caster or a melee DPS? Again, with a druid, you can pick them both. So if you're playing World of Warcraft and you think about rolling a main, or picking a main, you can't think the right one, start with a druid. Start with a druid, and then just play all the different specs and see which one actually takes your fancy, guys. That is the best way of doing it. It really is. My camera's wobbling because my big ass fucking knee is smashing into it. Don't like that, guys, at all. My big ass knee is smashing into it. So, what have we got here? Oh, it's gonna cook. Ooh. That would be nice. Okay, so we're going to start off with how I met Ghost. How I met Ghost. Do you want to know how young I was when I met Ghost? I think this is a great story because having a friend like Ghost is seriously fucking amazing, guys. And I'm really blessed to have a friend like that. Okay, to have a friend. Let me see if I can straighten this up for you guys. Ugh. Bear with me, bear with me, bear with me. Okay. Sorted. Holla to everybody and a big fucking bro fist to you guys. Okay, so when you've got having a friend like Ghost, I've had known Ghost now for 17 years. 17 fucking years. And all together we've done stuff together which is pretty fucking amazing, guys. Let me show you this really quickly. This is how young I was. Where is it? Check that picture out. Circa 1996, maybe even 99, something like that. That's me there. And look at Ghosty there. Oh! Look at that little face. Don't you want to shrug it out little ears? Look at that guy. Look at me looking fucking baller as always. That's the breakings of a brofist right there. That is the fucking makings of the brofist. That is absolutely what that is. So yeah, it's 1999. And now, we just fucking... Ghost was a different circle of people. Let me break it down how I grew up, and this will give you an idea of what happened. In school, okay, I don't know, depending on where you are in the world, this is going to be slightly different for you guys. But in the UK, it works like this. From the ages of about 7 to 11, we go to what's called fucking primary school, okay? Fucking primary school, alright? So we have this primary school, which is where you're a young kid and you're growing up and all that kind of stuff. From 11 to 16, we then go to high school. Okay, we go to high school at ages 11 to 16, then 16 to 18 we go to college, and then 18 to plus we go somewhere else for university, okay? That's how it rocks in the UK. So, me had an interesting family. My family is interesting, and my father ran what we call pubs. You guys have got pubs, I'm sure you got pubs. Now, he moved around a lot in order to pick up different pubs as he progressed through life, okay? So you can imagine, I went to 7 primary schools, 7 in those few years. Fucking 7 primary schools. I had so many uniforms in my school, I looked like a prostitute. I had that many fucking school uniforms in my wardrobe. It was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And on top of that, every time I moved school, sometimes to schools that were less fucking advanced, I then moved to a school that was further behind the education I just received at a different school. So I then became like the smartest person in the world as far as that school was concerned. I had an ego up to here, guys. I had a head like that. Because every time I went to school, I was like, oh, I've already done this. I've fucking done this stuff. And, you know, I found it dead easy. So I've been moved and progressed through that. So 7 different primary schools. Now, one advantage that did give me is I was fucking really, really good at meeting people for the first time. Because as a kid, it's quite troubling to meet people, isn't it? Fucking meeting people as a kid is quite difficult and awkward, making new friends. But after you go to 7 primary schools, you certainly pick up methods of meeting people really, really quickly. So I found that advantage very early on. I could meet people, chat to them very, very quickly. At age sort of 9 and 10, I was picking up this fucking ability. That's what we did. So I had these 7 uniforms in my school. I finally landed on one in the 7th primary school. I stayed till the end and then had to choose a high school. Then the high school is where Ghost was hiding, where he was lurking. Ghost is lurking in his high school, and it was an all-boys school. An all-boys school. Can you imagine at the age when your testosterone's really kicking in, you're starting to get your pubic hairs, all that stuff? We ended up in an all-boys school. And I'd never met the guy at that time. Now, I'm a super nerd. I'm a total nerd. I was always a nerd, okay? Really was an absolute mega nerd. Can you imagine? I was like the tallest person by a long way. In primary school, I was fucking absolutely so tall. It was ridiculous. Compared to everybody else with like midgets. So I felt like the giant. I was like the big boss man when I walked in. Not at all at high school, because then you bump into people who are equally as tall as you. And everybody else sorts of catches up. So, but I was also chunky as well, so I was the big fat black guy basically. I was like Mr. T in school. That's what I was all about. So I started high school, not anymore. Now I'm a super nerd, what they call a SWAT in the UK, which means you're very into your education. Because my dad is old school. My dad was really old school. My dad's like, he was like 65 when he died, and that was only a few years ago. And so I was like 13, he would have been about 50 odd. So, fuck me, my dad was seriously old school. Didn't believe in things like buying computers and stuff like that, and all the stupid shit I was into. Because I was into all sorts of shit as that child. You know, we're a child of the computer era. And now you're talking to a guy who served in the Merchant Navy as a kid, and that's what he did, and travelled the world. That shit just doesn't exist anymore, you know. So that was my background, and then I move into high school where there's always the cool kids. Now, Ghost is one of the cool kids, okay? He's always got the latest shit and all that. And I was in like where we all divided the kids up. I don't know if you guys do this across the world. Divide the kids up into like not an intelligence level but an ability level. So you might have your maths set 1, and then there's like 7 sets of people, and like obviously I was in like set 1, and then you've got these people in set 7, and the people in set 1 think, oh, they must be like using abacuses and shit, and like you know, just everything they do is on a calculator, and they've got a couple of apples, and the teacher's going, how many apples have I got in my fucking hands? You know, shit like that. So I was like in the super nerd class in my first year of high school. I was like set 1 for everything. Andy was only a set or so below me, but it means he wasn't in like set 7 or anything like that. I'm not calling him a fucking special needs kid. So Andy's like in a few years lower, and I still haven't met him, because then you form these circles of friends, and all my friends were mega nerds, okay? My friends are super nerds. We talked about maths. We talked about physics. Gaming was something I did as like a hobby. You know, I've got this gaming in the background and shit, and like, but we all talked about how cool we were to be like the top set of doing English. So we worked on harder stuff, like it was really cool to be fucking working on all sorts of stupid shit, like we're working on the force of an inclined plane at like age 11. You know, that's super cool, guys. Nothing pulls the chicks like being able to do inclined plane forces. Fucking bullshit, man. But I'm a total nerd. Like, I'm a mega nerd in school. So my first year wasn't very popular. Andy's off in the cool kids. Of course, I've seen him around the playground. Of course, he's noticed me because I'm handsome as shit, right? So, like, I'm walking around, looking cool. Not really. Got loads of fucking textbooks and all this shit. Oh, man, so embarrassing. So I'm really like awkward and shit at school because I'm like the big fat guy who's hanging around with the mega nerds. You know, you got your fucking sports guys over there, and you've got the guys who've like told a story that they've had sex and clearly haven't. But even the fact they told a realistic story about them means they're totally not virgins anymore, right? So they're like super cool, and then you've got like Andy's squad who was over in a different corner, and like the whole fucking playground is like divided up into these little social classes, and that happens across the whole world, okay? So you can totally appreciate where I'm coming from. Well, the geek squad, that's me, okay? I'm mega geek squad. So a whole year goes by of this in the summer holidays, and basically we just hung around and played N64 That's what we played. N64 was very big on the scene at that time, yeah? Yeah, Born Tank. I was tanking the fucking nerds like a boss. I was the total tank. So the N64, Nintendo 64 just hit the scene round about my first year of high school. And everybody bought an N64. There was no such thing really as PC gaming in that first year. It was all about the fucking N64. And you just wish sometimes that Ghost wasn't in the chat to spoil the fucking story. So, anyway, N64 had just come out. Now, on the background of this, guys, and I'm going to tell this more in the... Well, I'm going to talk about it a little bit, is our first love wasn't exactly gaming for me and Ghost. Although we hadn't met yet, we both had a passion for something really lame. And that was wrestling. Fucking wrestling. Professional wrestling. WWF. I mean, fucking big time, okay? We're talking big time wrestling fans. And my friends weren't wrestling fans. Andy's friends were not really as big a wrestling fans as he was, as I learned later. He was a major fucking wrestling fan. But I was like mega wrestling fan, okay? Fucking Jeff Hardy and shit, diving off ladders and all that kind of funky shit. I was loving that, man. And if anybody knows wrestling, like EC fucking W, oh man, seriously, I loved that shit. We used to go into the city centre and fucking pull out like old burnt videos, VHS tapes. That's all we had, you know, this is pre-DVDs. So we used to go and get like VHS tapes that were copied. They didn't even have labels or boxes or anything for like £3 a time. Bring them home and fucking watch this shit. And I was like secretly well into wrestling. Like it was a secret thing because wrestling was gay. And you know, having a gay hobby at an all-boys school just isn't fucking kosher, you know what I mean? So not only am I a mega big fat nerd, I'm also a mega big fat nerd into a gay hobby in an all-boys school. So you can imagine the shit. Seriously. Anyway, let's roll on to year 2 of high school, okay? 12 years old. Still this little fat dweeb. Come back after the summer holidays. No longer first years. Feeling like fucking ballers until one of the big 16-year-old lads who, you know, comes and smashes you in the fucking face. So, me and one day, probably a few months in, and Andy probably won't even know this. Ghost probably won't even know this shit. I'm walking across the schoolyard with my usual group of friends. Corner of my fucking ear, right in the distance, I hear this voice, which eventually turned out to be Ghost. Stood near a railings in his fucking cool-ass kitchen coat and all that, and I have got my second-hand hand-me-downs. Like, my dad was so old school, this is a funny story my brother always used to tell me, so old school that he despised disorganisation and despised me fucking up and did it love to embarrass me. So one day I forget my gym shoes, I'll call it gym shoes for the sake of the argument, so my trainers, or his sneakers, whatever. So he gets my brother in the car and he drives to the school and throws the shoes out of the car at me about 100 miles an hour, nearly takes my head off, calls me a wanker and drives off down the rest of the other part of the road. That's what my dad did to me in front of the school. That's what he did to me. So, getting back on the story, I hear out the corner of my ear somebody talking about wrestling. Somebody had just mentioned something that I also liked about wrestling. Now, I can't fucking remember exactly what he said, and I've been racking my brain all day for what he fucking said. But out the corner of my ear, I just hear this thing, and I turn and I noticed this smug little bastard in the corner, right, stood on railings talking to his little circle of friends, and he's talking about wrestling, and I thought, that's the first fucking person in school who's mentioned wrestling that I've heard. It's the first guy, you know? And I'm like, I want to talk to that guy. That guy knows what I'm fucking talking about. Because I looked over and the circle of friends didn't even seem to know what the fuck he's talking about, you know? But I clocked it straight away. And I'm like, dude, I need to fucking talk to that guy. I need to talk to that guy. And so I carried on along my way. Now, the difficulty is in high school, I'm sure you guys have bumped into this kind of thing, is one circle of friends interacting with another circle that's outside of their circle is like really hardcore. Okay, that's like trying to stab butter. That shit's just all fucked up. It just goes a total fucking mess. So it's like I'm looking over and there's a Ghost, and he's talking about wrestling. I'm thinking, how the fuck am I going to speak to this guy? I mean, how am I going to get to do that? You know? So I leave it. It took a couple of months until I was like, I can't even remember how we approached it properly, but I remember. I remember now. On his bag, he had wrestling shit. Tipex. You remember Tipex? So he's got fucking Tipex wrestling shit on his bag. On his school bag, okay? His Tipex wrestling shit on it. So, like, fucking... I spots this, and I'm stood near him. I'm like purposely stood near him with a circle of friends, and this he is. And I was like, "Oh, dude, what's that on your bag?" You know, or some awkward like that. Now I picked up the skills that I'd learned in primary school, so I was like, I could strike up a conversation with this guy. So I spotted what was in his bag, and it might have been like something like Stone Cold Steve Austin rocks. Shit you do when you're like 12 years old, you know. Nothing cooler than writing Stone Cold rocks or whatever on your back, or fucking Rob Van Dam's This Is the Fucking God. So I'm like, "Oh, dude, cool bag. I didn't know you liked RVD or whatever it was at the time. I didn't know you liked him." And then we struck up this conversation straight away. So we started fucking meshing like this. So it was like this full-on fucking conversation that was going on, okay? So I got into this full conversation. And very quickly, the conversation just became like, even though there was two circles of friends grouped up, it became quickly just me and Andy talking about wrestling. And this was the first time I'd ever been able to actually, in my entire life, speak to somebody who knew what the fuck I was talking about and was genuinely interested in it. This was crazy for me. At high school, this is like fucking fireworks flying off in your brain. Like talking non-stop back and forward about wrestling. Just, "Oh, did you watch that? Did you watch that? Yeah, we watched Raw. Did you watch SmackDown?" I don't even think SmackDown was out then. I mean, I don't even know if it's still going now. But we were talking about wrestling and blah, blah, blah. And this was cool and that was cool. Who's your favourite guy? Who do you hate? That guy sucks, blah, blah, blah. Shit you do when you're 12 years old. But we went like that. Absolutely like a fucking freight train. Talking about this wrestling stuff. The next day, same again. Fucking talking about wrestling again and again and again, and wrestling. And then he says, "Oh, I've got this game for my Nintendo 64, like fucking, I think it was WCW Mayhem." Now, Ghost in the chat, maybe you can back it up, but WrestleMania wasn't out yet. WCW Mayhem, I think it was a WCW game for the N64, and I had never played it. And none of us liked WCW. Like, both of us hated WCW. It was because you remember you were one side. You like WCW or you're WWF. If you're into wrestling, you'll know what I'm talking about. So, we were like, "Oh, he's got his WCW." So this is like the first time you get invited to his house, okay? So this is like a big thing as a kid, isn't it? Going to somebody else's house. It's like a really big moment. You go into this guy's house, you know, you've got this conversation going. You're starting to make fucking friends. Revenge. Fucking baller. There's a brofist for you, pal. WCW NWO Revenge. And now, the reason we wanted to play it, or I wanted to see it, was the first wrestling game. Not only was it a game, it was the first wrestling game that featured weapons. And we were like, we could smash each other with fucking chairs and all sorts of shit. We could do crazy fucking stuff. So I started to build a friendship with this guy, okay? And he's turning out to be really fucking cool as well, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, cool at 12 years old, and I'm sure he won't disagree with me. Cool at 12 years old, for me, was a guy who loved wrestling and played video games. That's like the coolest fucking... Forget girls. I'm at an all-boys school. Who fucking cares about girls? Let's go play some fucking wrestling. Let's go fucking play some N64, baby. Let's get it set up. Let's get round there and do it. And so we, you know, I went around to his house for the first time. So it was the first time I ever met somebody I could all-night game with. All-night gaming, which is incredible. I don't know if you've ever all-night game. Let me just have some Jack Dagnalls. I'm sure many of you guys with your friends have done an all-night gaming session. But when you're that age, it's not allowed to stay up all night. So what do? We're sat on the floor in his bedroom. He's got like this little box room. I mean, I'm sure he remembers how small it was, that fucking thing. And like, we're sat on the floor with the sound turned off and a towel pushed against the bottom of the door so the light doesn't shine through. And we're trying not to click the buttons a lot. So we're gaming, we're sat on the floor. It's right pair of nerds, okay? We're total pair of super nerds. Sat on the floor, bashing each other with steel chairs. Fucking well before, you know, this is miles before the fucking Mega Drive. This is miles after the Mega Drive and Moonwalker, bro. This is N64. This is 64-bit quality. This is what this is. So we're sat on the floor, yeah? And we're like all night, so like 4 in the morning, which at age 12 is like incredible. We woke up the next day, we were like half dead. And then the first thing that I ever thought about, Andy, was just like, this guy sleeps with music on. I mean, I don't know if you get a friend, and then when you stay together for a long period of time, or when you sleep over for the first time, you notice people do shit different to you, like crazy shit. And we're going to sleep, okay? So he's got this box room that's literally like enough room for one person lay down and another one. That's all the room there is in the room. So I'm literally on the floor next to his bed, okay? So I'm lying on the floor, and then he says, "Oh, we'll go to sleep now. Yeah, let's get some sleep. We've got school in the morning." Cool. Puts the fucking stereo on. And it was like, it was either some rap music. I think it was rap. It was before we got into metal. And it was like rap music. And he just played it all fucking night. And I had to stay away, and he just passed out, like straight away, just totally passed out. But you're like 12 years old, right? So you can't just get off the floor and fucking turn the stereo off, right? You can't do that. That's the unbelievable thing. You're like frozen in place. You're like, holy shit, I'm like asleep in somebody else's house. And I'm not comfortable because there's fucking rap music banging in my ears. What do? I can't get up because what if his dad comes in and like smacks me with a bat or something? Because you're 12, right? You don't fucking get it. You don't get that you could just stand up and turn the shit off because he's like totally asleep next to you. So I'm lay there like that. Holy fuck, what am I going to do? I'm like, it's 4 a.m. He's put a full CD on of Puff Daddy, as I'm now hearing there, Puff Daddy. And I'm like, what the fuck to do? So whatever, man. So eventually I literally stay awake every time I stayed at Andy's house. I think I stayed at Andy's house probably something like 40 to 50 times in my life while we were at that age, okay? 40 to 50 times. Easy, something like that. And every night, he puts this fucking CD on. And I have to stay awake every night after we gamed all fucking night. All night till like 4 a.m. I have to stay awake after that for like an hour and a half until the CD runs out. I shit you not, ballers. I have to stay awake all night until the CD runs out. It's crazy. I'm like laying in bed like, oh, it's got to be the last song now. This has to be the last song. It has to, and then another song comes on, and then they've got like these random songs that they put on albums, which are like 10 minutes long, and I having to listen to all. I knew all the words to Puff Daddy. I fucking hate Puff Daddy. I can't stand it, and it's banging in my head. And Andy's other quirk with music, and I'm sure he's got many quirks about me too, is that if he loves a song, especially at that age, if he loves a song, he puts it on constant repeat. Okay, like permanent repeat. Now, I remember when we started getting into metal, I'm going to move on with the story shortly, but this is just a sidetrack for you. We started to get into metal through Linkin Park, Points of Authority. It was the first real new metal song that had come out, which appealed to people of our age to move into the metal genre. Especially having been brought up with it, because rock and metal was just not allowed in our fucking, in our house. My dad was into things like Chris Rea, things like that. No rock. I'd never even heard of the Doors or anything like that. That was just, whoa, no. So yeah, One Step Closer by Linkin Park. This song just came out, and we listened to it, and we thought, dude, this song is fucking amazing. Moving on from that, I'm at Andy's house, and this thing sticks in my head so much that I can't believe how annoyed I must have been at the time. I genuinely cannot even picture how annoyed I must have been. Deftones, My Own Summer. No, Back to School by the Deftones. This song, Andy had just discovered it and gone out and bought the single, because back in the day, this is before music downloads or anything like that shit, or even onlining, really. We had these sort of like fucking bulletin boards and shit to play online. Andy buys the Deftones Back to School single. And I come round to his house, and I'm like, oh, and then he says to me, I'm going to get in the bath, okay? This is how distinctive this moment was. I remember it fucking moment for fucking moment meeting this guy. This guy, Andy, a ghost, he comes up to me and says, I need a bath. I'm like, okay, cool. You jump in the bath, and I think we were going to our local town. Like you did as a kid, you went to the local town to stand in the game shop like this. Drooling over games you couldn't possibly afford, okay? You're like 12 years old, stood in the game shop, glaring at games you can't possibly afford, even for systems you don't have. They think the PlayStation was on the market then, and you're looking at PlayStation games. You don't own a fucking PlayStation, but you'll spend an hour reading the back cover of the PlayStation game. Some of you guys might not fucking get that. But that's what we did. When the games are on the shelves, you pick it up and you just stare at it, and you can't possibly buy it. You can't even play it if you bought it. If you had enough money to buy the fucking game, you couldn't go and play it anyway. But that's what we spent 6-7 hours a weekend doing. That's what we would do. Total nerds. Or going buying wrestling videos from the fucking shop off this dirty guy. Underground wrestling shop that makes probably £5-6 a day. So he gets this Deftones CD, puts it on his stereo, turns the volume to full while I'm sat next to the stereo. The stereo's like here, and turns the fucking volume to full so he can hear it in the bath, and then gets in the bath for 40 minutes with the song on repeat, blaring into my head. Like, I'm fucking serious. I was about to lose my mind. So I'm just playing his N64. I mean, you've got to imagine this fucking room. I'm sat on this little tiny single bed that's big enough for a fucking kid. The stereo is pushed right up to there. Ghost says, oh, this song's mint. Deftones Back to School. I'm like, yeah, I've heard it, mate. It's cool. It's a good song. And he says, I'm just going to crack it on. CD. It's like a practical joke. It was like something you do to hurt somebody. Dish, CD in, volume up, repeat. I'm off for a fucking bath. Can you fucking believe it? Like, I seriously was sat there for 40... I'm thinking he's got to get out of the bath in a minute. Who has a bath for 40 minutes while his mate's waiting for him? No. 40 minutes on repeat. Back to back. I could never listen to that song for years after that. It's serious. It was fucking horrible. Absolutely horrible. So this goes on for about 2 or 3 years, and we start getting older, okay? We start... Fuck you. So we start getting older, okay? We start getting a little bit older, and we start loving wrestling even more, to the point where we start going underground wrestling with some like Japanese shit and all this kind of stuff. Don't worry about it if you don't know what I mean, but you start getting more in depth because you're cool, right? You're a teenager now, and now you're not into that commercial wrestling shit. You're into that underground stuff. You're not into that commercial music. You like this obscure fucking song that's not actually very good and not been produced very well, but you know, it's not like out in the mainstream, so you kind of you like it for that reason alone, even though it's pretty fucking shit. And you actually like the decent songs that are out in the mainstream. So we started doing this with wrestling, okay? And then we discover backyard wrestling. Now this is the first time me and Andy ever put on a performance for anybody. We became backyard wrestlers. And I'm dead fucking serious. We did this. There's a great story, because our duo of me and Ghost actually contains a third person who doesn't like the internet sort of stuff. So I'm not going to mention him too much, but there's 3 people involved in our circle, okay? And this is like a circle that is like that, okay? Really, really close. So we used to have them both stay at my house. My house then became sort of the place to be because we had a big garden. But before we even developed the daring and cunning to wrestle in the garden, we wrestled in the front room after my parents had gone to sleep. That's what we do. We would stay awake in the front room or in my bedroom until we heard them go to sleep, and then we'd be at the door like this. And then we'd have to wait like 15-20 minutes to see if they'd gone to sleep. So we're like sat there, like us 3, me, Ghost and the other chap. We're sat in the room and we're like, can you hear anything? I haven't heard anything for the last couple of minutes. Okay, let's just give it a couple more minutes. And then you hear a stir. You know, you hear like my dad roll over. And he like, we'll have to wait another 5 minutes because they're still awake. Like they wouldn't hear us. We were like nearly 6 foot by this point. Fucking around in the front room, right? So we're like pressed against the door. Right, let's go. And then 3 big lads, big teenage lads, sneaking down the stairs, like the creakiest motherfucking stairs that have ever existed in the history of time. We sneak downstairs, and this is, you know, it's so ridiculous when you think about it. It's so stupid. It's so fucking stupid. 3 6-foot lads sneaking down the stairs, like the chair is great for this. This is us 3 sneaking down the stairs like this. I don't think they heard us. That is us sneaking down the fucking stairs at that age. Seriously, so stupid. So we went into our main room in the house, okay? We're like in the front room. There's like these 3 big lads. We take all the pillows off the couches. No shit. I don't fucking embarrass because this shit was fun as hell. Fuck you guys, okay? We take all the pillows off the chairs. We lay out this huge padding along the fucking floor. Like, the entire floor is covered in padding. And then we'd have wrestling matches. Like, total bullshit wrestling matches where we go like, oh, oh, and fall over and shit. And then, like, just lie on the floor and, like, swat each other and, like, beat on each other. It's so ridiculous. I can't even believe it. We totally did this shit. And then we started becoming more, you know, violent. We started becoming more violent, and we improvised weaponry because we didn't have steel chairs like they had in wrestling, and we didn't have like tables and shit. So what we do is put 2 pillows along the side and then a pillow across the top, forming like a T shape. Okay, so we got this T shape like that, and then fall through it, and that was our table. You know, he's just putting through a table. Oh my god, you know, and we were absolutely fucking love it. Absolutely, it was fucking crazy, man. And we used to do this for we did this for months. And then eventually we started to look at the garden like longingly, you know, like a gamer looks at his brand new game, or a PC gamer especially when he gets that new graphics card that's like this. And we're looking at that grass outside and we're thinking, oh yeah, baby, we want a piece of that. We want some of that completely. So we're like drooling over it, and we're looking at it and like, yeah, What a piece of that. So eventually we opened the doors, okay? We opened the doors to the backyard from the front room. We had like patio doors. We opened the doors, and then eventually it spilled out into the garden. I remember our first time in the garden, we spilled out into the garden. Now, from here it just got even more obscene. We started filming it, and there's videos around of us wrestling. These videos exist. They're not on the internet because we tried to find them again. We did upload some stuff. We couldn't find it anywhere, and you'll never find it because you won't know our wrestling names, our cool wrestling names. We had entrance music and everything. We'd get like the stereo, put it to the doors, use the patio curtains as like an entranceway, so we'd walk out and shit and be all like this, filming it, and fucking awesome. It was great times, guys. And then we took it to like the next level where we like started to get a fucking audience, and this is no bullshit, okay? We got an audience who used to turn up and watch us, and they were like kids from the next house who would like lean up at the fence all day watching us, because we'd have 4 or 5 matches with just the 3 of us, where each rotate being a referee. And yeah, let's get a little embarrassing. And I've decided to pick excellent pictures of me owning Ghost, because I can. There, look at that. See the way I've done. I'm serious. I'm not fucking bullshitting. This is what we used to do. We would rotate. This isn't the third person, by the way. These pictures are taken from like the most recent event that we did, which was when we started to get out of it a little bit. And this guy came along and we had a few beers and stuff. See, we had mattresses on the floor, we had ladders. Now look at the state of the garden. Now what I can't express to you enough is, when my parents used to go on holiday, this is what would happen. We're going on holiday, Mike, for 2 weeks. Okay. Are you going to be okay in the house on your own? Certainly am. The morning they left on holiday, everybody would turn up at the house. We would then get in a car and drive. So we're nearly 16 now. We'd drive to some shoddy bed place, some place that sells bedroom furniture, and buy, for very little money, all their rotten mattresses. All the mattresses that they couldn't sell. We would buy them all and come out with a van full of mattresses and plough them into the garden. Now under here, there would be nothing but soil. There would be no grass anywhere. I seriously, shit you not. It was so obvious what we'd done. We would destroy the garden. And my parents used to invest a lot of money into sort of repairing the garden. And we would just destroy it. It would have this entire thing in. Like, check that out. We had posters. There's my fiance, Emma. Oh, fun times. We would have like, look at this. We had all cardboard boxes. That was our entranceway. You see, we built an entranceway out of boxes and put the names over it. Oh, we had this ladder, look at that, it says Scully Bones. I don't know. That's me dropping Ghost right on his head. Boom, that's how you roll at 16 years old. Dropping him square on his fucking head. Absolutely amazing stuff. Really, really good times. So this is genuine stuff. I'm not bullshitting you. I'll never lie to you guys. You know that. That was fucking Ghosty getting on. Oh, don't get me wrong, we were dead serious about going professional. And Ghosty, to be fair, as he said in that channel, isn't lying. He was genuinely good enough to do it because he knew how to make a move look really painful. If I had any of the videos, I would show you, but I don't have any of them. They're lost in time. They were on VHS tapes. I mean, our fucking recorder was like this big, and it was on VHS tapes. And they've gone, man. I've looked everywhere for these tapes. We had like 12 of these tapes. I would love to get them on digital. But there is one video flying around, which is a big compilation video that we do have, and I might show you one day. I might not. And that was, and then you can sort of imagine how ridiculous things start to get. We then, yeah, like my brother has, I think you've only got one of them. You've only got the digital video, I think. And I will show it one day, maybe. If Ghost's okay with it, because, you know, it's quite an iffy video. So eventually we are talking about going pro. So me and Andy now are like that. And in this third person, we are like we had a name for each other, which was really lame, for our little team of people. We then want to go pro in the wrestling industry. So this is what really sort of ties you all together, is we went to a wrestling school. And my brother drove us, and we had to go meet the head of this wrestling school, one of the British Wrestling Foundations, one of the big things, okay? So we're really nervous in the car, and it was a long drive as well. It was like an hour and a half drive. At that age, that's a huge drive. Like now I drive 5 hours and 5 hours back, and it's no problem. But then an hour and a half drive is like a big fucking deal, you know, especially trying to convince somebody in your family to drive you. Oh, it was really bad. So we go out to this town called Stoke, and we meet this guy. Now, it turns out that he's an extremely extremely religious guy, okay? So me and Ghost were like the leader of the crew because to go and speak to this guy. So we get his house address, we phone him, we're like, yeah, we want to come and show you our stuff. We made like a tape, okay? We've made like this VHS tape of what we can do. We want to show it to you. So at this point, we're dead set. We're still gaming in the background, but we're dead set. We only played wrestling games. That's all we played. So, like, we were dead set on becoming wrestlers at this point. So we get in the car, we drive to this town, okay? And we're on the phone to this guy, and we're like, okay, we're nearly there. Are you ready to meet us and greet us? And he's like, yeah, okay. We're looking forward to meeting you. And we're really worried because we're not muscly. Like, wrestlers are really muscly, aren't they, for show and stuff like that. We're not like that. We're just like little guys. We're kids, basically. We're only like 16 years old. So we knock on this fucking guy's. I'm getting there, don't you worry. So we knock on this guy's house, and he opens it, and he's like the most 60s looking wrestler you've ever seen, okay? He's like the Ultimate Warrior crossed with Ric Flair, if that makes sense to anybody. He's so old school looking, it almost made you cry. It was like when you watch a TV show from the fucking 1960s and shit just looks wrong, okay? Like hair's like this big fucking cuboid Lego hair, like they've stuck it on in the morning. They've gone like to their Lego box and gone like, oh, which hair shall I wear today? Okay, that'll do. This big fucking Johnny head has been stuck on his fucking head. Yeah, he had a mullet. If you know what a mullet is, oh my god, he had like this mullet hair. So me and Andy go, this is weird. This is fucking weird. This is crazy. So me and Ghost go in. I was 16 years old with this guy with this massive mullet. So we walk in, and all around us are these giant Christian crosses. Everywhere. I mean, big as fuck. It was like being in a church. And he separated his main room in his house with this... It must have weighed about 500 pounds, okay? This 500 pounds brown curtain, and it's brown everywhere. It's like the brownest room you've ever been in. It's like he went in and shit all over the walls. It's like the brownest, dirtiest, dustiest room in your life. It's like you felt your lungs going, whoa, what's wrong in here? I mean, this guy's a pro wrestler, and all we know as kids is pros wrestlers make the fucking bucks, don't we, guys? We look at people like The Rock and fucking Stone Cold, and they're rolling in their Bentleys and they're doing whatever. So of course wrestlers are loaded. We want the big fucking dollars, and we walk into this dirtiest, smelliest house you have ever seen in your life. It was disgusting, and we look at each other and we're like, this is really, really weird. This isn't how it's supposed to be. And of course wrestling wives are the divas, you know, the chicks with the fucking thongs and the little bras and the big fake boobs and all that. This woman walks in, and no offence to like really fat ugly women, but she was a really fat ugly woman, and she was about this tall. She was like a little weeble. She comes strolling in, and it's I'm looking at her, and I'm looking at this guy with the mullet, and I'm thinking to myself, what the shit is going on here? Where's the models? Where's the big fucking... Where's the gold-plated Bentley, baby? What's happening here? You're a professional wrestler. What the fuck is going on? So we're totally baffled. We're so confused that we're just laughing our asses off. We don't know what to say. But we're trying to keep a straight face because this is deadly serious, because this is about our wrestling career, okay? And nothing is more important than our wrestling career. That's the truth. So we goes in and we puts this video on. And I think it's us rolling around in the grass, like you've just seen the pictures of. Rolling around in the grass, throwing ourselves into cardboard boxes, and we're sat there and we're like, this is really good, you know. This was our best clips. It's like when you make you make your first PvP video, you put all the best little clips in, don't you? You put all the best 2-minute scenes of you kicking ass and fucking laying names and taking it down. So that's what we did. It was about a 5-minute video of our 8 or 9 full 4-hour videos that we just condensed into 5 minutes and picked our very best bits. So that's what we were doing. And we're sat in this guy's... And it was one of those houses where they offered you a drink. I'm sure you've all been there at some point, because we all have like a scruffy mate or something like that. So we literally... It's one of the houses where they say, do you want a drink? And you go, no. No, I don't. And what you want to say is, are you fucking kidding me? I would not put my mouth on anything in this goddamn house. Everything looks like the toilet. I would never ask you where the toilet is. I would just piss on your floor, because it would probably make it cleaner. But of course, as a kid, you just go, no, I'm alright, thanks. It's like when you go to, if you've got one of them crazy old grandmas and they like offer you some food that hasn't been around since the war, you know, like, you know, I think my gran at one point offered me a cow tongue sandwich. I mean, it sounds like a sex thing, and you listen to it. She says, "Do you want a tongue sandwich?" And you just go, "What? I'm hearing you right?" You know, it's one of them moments. So we're in this house, and this really trollish woman comes trundling out. And she's like, "Do you two want a drink?" It's like, no, thanks. Well, we're trying not to vomit. So we watched this video with him, and he goes, "You guys have got some really, really sweet moves. You got some good moves." And we're linking, "Yeah, we do. We fucking know we do. Yeah!" Kiori has just pointed out a very good point about our gran trolling us with her old school ways. That's exactly what it was like. So we literally watched this video, and then we go back for one day. He says, "No, you're welcome to come to the training school. You guys have got some skills. Great. Come and see us, okay? Come and join us." And then we had to pay, obviously, for his training. For this mullet guy, can't afford to buy a vacuum cleaner guy, we had to pay for his training session. So it was like paying for his training session. And it was expensive too. It was like £15, I think, or £18, which is a lot of money to a 15-year-old. That's a fucking lot of money. So we turn up. Literally, this training centre was in an old dirty gym. Okay, and the old dirty gym didn't have a ring in it. So the first thing we noticed about our wrestling training is there's no ring. And the biggest thing about wrestling in the backyard is all you want to do is get in a ring. Because you pretend to run off ropes. Seriously, this is what we did. If we wanted to, like, a lot of wrestling stuff occurs off the ropes, okay? So what we do is throw somebody, like, throw them or lead them towards the end of the the end of the garden. Have them turn around like they came off the ropes, okay? Like, pretend to hit the ropes. So you'd, like, go backwards and go, whoa, come running back and then run into it. Because that's what you did, you know. You were kids. What the fuck? Who cares? So we go to this gym and there's no ring. And it's like the first thing I say to him is, "There's no fucking ring." So Andy's looking at me, he's like, "Oh yeah, no, there's no ring." It's totally ridiculous. And we pay our £18 for our 2-hour training session. And by now, we're like this. We're fucking totally like this. And we were there all day, and it basically revolved around 2 people at a time were allowed in the middle of the room where there was this little bit of padding. Okay? It's like, it's fucking... It's like, how can I describe the fail? Just the absolute fail of the whole day. I mean, you've been in situations, guys, where you turned up to something and you've built it up in your mind, especially as a kid. You've built something up so much in your mind that when you see it, you just go, fail! This is fail! This is totally fucked up! This is not what we want! I want my money back! I'm fucking leaving. I'm out of here. This is bullshit. What you promised us was nothing fucking like this at all. You lying, mullet, scabby bastard. It was fucking awful. It was the most shit place I've ever been in my entire fucking life. It was terrible. And we basically just had a group of people who had all paid the money, would like sit there and read wrestling magazines. And then 2 people at a time would roll around in the middle of the room. And that was it. And we were there for 4 hours, man. It was fucking fail. So, to then grow our relationship, we decided to open our own training centre. We were going to fucking train people to become wrestlers. This was the new plan, okay? So this is where the entrepreneurism comes from. At 16, or maybe 17, at 17 years old, we opened the EBW Training Centre. I went to Manchester Town Centre, near all the wrestling shops. I put up posters. I put up posters in our college. So we would have been 17, I guess, at college. So we put posters all over the college. And then they kept taking them down. The teachers kept pulling them down because we were advocating wrestling training. And I charged people. I shit you not. I charged people. I'm 16 years old. I'm charging people for them. So that's how good I thought I was. Seriously, how good I thought I was. It's fucking ridiculous. It was EBW, but no, it was extreme. This is what it was called: Extreme Backyard Wrestling. That was what our name was. We were extreme because we had like a metal chair. We were so fucking extreme. We were so extreme that we had cardboard boxes to fall through. That's how extreme. Don't take nothing from me, guys. That's extreme, okay? Falling through a cardboard box is where it's at. That's fucking rock on. So good, man. So funny. So we opened Extreme fucking Backyard Wrestling Training Centre in this old gym, which was local to us. And every day, this is where it got a little bit iffy, because on the very fucking first training session there where we actually turned up, the first one went really well. People turned up. This was what was amazing about it, guys. People fucking turned up. People got on local community buses and paid money to travel halfway across our city to come to our training centre. They turned up. They fucking did. People turned up and they paid me money. And the money was just enough to pay for the room. We had a room hire that we had to pay to use the room on a Saturday morning. And it was just enough. I never made money off it. Don't get it wrong, guys. I never made any money off it. I just literally, I think I charged £6 each. Took the £6 of the 6 or 7 people that came and then paid for the room. That was what we did. And we just had so much fun. It was great. And then on the second week, unfortunately, Ghost got a job baking bread. Ghosty was a baker. Fuck yeah, baby. A baker. So awesome. I mean, that guy can bake some fucking bread like you've never seen. He can do a cross fucking weave bread like you've never seen. And that's when the wrestling sort of died out, because without that, it wasn't as good without him. That's the kind of friendship we had, is that, if we weren't doing it together, it just wasn't as great. It just wasn't as fucking cool. So I ran it for about 9 weeks. I did it for about 9 weeks until the actual owners of the gym said, "Can we see your insurance certificate for violently throwing people around the room?" And I went to check. I was like 16, and I went to the insurance offices, and I was like, "I need insurance for training people in what is basically martial arts, because wrestling's real and all that." And he says, "Yeah, it's going to be about £1,000." So I went, "Okay." I just walked out and then just closed the place down very quickly. I told everybody, "Oh, this is the last one. Not going to do it again. Never going to do it again." And from there, we then moved into... we gradually grew out of the wrestling, unfortunately. We grew out of the wrestling. I thought I had another picture for you. We grew out of the wrestling and then switched to gaming, which is another story I want to tell you, but not today. I'm not going to tell you that one today, I don't think. No. That's not going to be the story for today, guys. That is the story of how I met Ghost. I hope you enjoyed that. I did. It was some fun memories, and I hope Ghost enjoyed it too. Well, I'll do another story time. I have lots more stories. Like I say, that was one story on one page. I actually wrote 3. There's the truth. I wrote 3. 3 stories of horrible things I've done in WoW and things that have let me grow as a gamer. How I got into gaming. Whether or not, I'll tell you what, do you want to hear the story about how I got into gaming? It's even longer than that one, though. I mean, I've been talking for like an hour. It's up to you guys. I'm just going to have a few drinks. If you want to hear it, say so, unless you've got something to do. Say now if you want to hear how I got into gaming, because it covers some of the same ground of where these moments intertwined with each other. You want to hear it? Okay. Let me take 2 minutes to finish this and get a drink. 2 minutes, guys, and I'll be right back, okay? I'm not going to leave us hanging. Alright, give me 2 minutes, 2 minutes. I kind of wish you were here now, Ghost, because this shit's all about you as well. Fucking noob. A little bit, keep him demo, get some damage on him, keep him slowed, and then I'm going to switch over to the pally. He's down to 90% mana.
Just really quickly, I'd just like to point out the fact that you've actually advertised the drink book to people who don't know it. Looking forward to your ban.
That's it. They all know it's there. So you keep on him. I need this pally to heal. The only way to room a pally is to heal. Simple as. I'm not going to pummel him too much. I want him to be casting those heals. At this stage, we don't know he's one of the guys who's just going to spam drink. Bit of a choice here. Do I let Elfie go? So I've decided it's better to stop the warrior, damage him again. Now, as you can see, if you just looked at my focus target, he's casted a Holy Light to get him to 90%, and then he started drinking straight away. So he's back to 100% already. So's Elfie, but Elfie didn't be a twat about it and fucking heal and then do it. So I'll give him a slap in the face there. See that then? Right, we know the situation now. So what the plan is now is to get this pally to do his drink bug while the warrior is miles away and probably low. Elfie's going to be doing some damage on that warrior now. And we're going to run over and we're going to finish him off quickly while he's trying to get back to full health. You see, he's pretty low, he's not low yet, so we're going to work him down a bit. But it is... These fights are basically pally fights. If whichever pally controls the game better, you know, that's who's going to win. It's pretty simple. He's used his Divine Illumination there. But they've stood next to each other, which is real silly. So I can, you know, fear them off.
Stop being so camp with your words. It's not real silly. It's fucking stupid. Aggression. Try it.
Aggression. I play a warrior. I'm pretty relaxed.
Lion face.
Lion face. Show me your lion face. Now you be a tiger.
Old school.
Now they're kind of turning the tides on us a little bit. He's on 60%, but he's drinking. Now I'm slowed. I'm not getting to him. The only way I can really do it is to force him to come back and heal, which he has done now.
What was Alfie doing?
Alfie's drinking as well. I mean, it's how his fight has to go. He's obviously got to get me up now.
Alright, I see.
But it's a really boring fight. I could spend half an hour chasing him around a pillar and maybe win through auto attack eventually. But it's not going to be fun. Now I'm going to war stomp him, throw a pummel on him, try and get him to use a few more holy shocks. Alfie's a bit lower on him than mana now because he's obviously using the drink bug. But he's down to 60%. This guy's going to want to drink now pretty badly. I'm pretty low. Let's go back in the range of Alfie. We're in good shape still, although it's pretty even. Alfie's used his bubble. And now you see he's done it again. He's done the heal and a bubble. And a drink, sorry. It's slack. It's slack. I mean, I should be sundering this guy, but I'm not going to stay on him that much that it's not going to wear off and I'm going to have to reapply it. So we're now going for the kill. Pally was already low. Elfie finishes him off in the bop. He just leaves it too late like most Pallies do. Druids do it a lot too. Focus so much on something else, they fuck it up. Priest Rogue. Nothing more to say other than let's not get Elfie mana burn. Inflames me.
Seen them this year, bro.
Did you move?
Download me.
Touch me. Right, fight starts pretty early, but they're a non-aggressive Priest Rogue, which I hate.
Hippies.
Hippies. Absolute hippies. They're going to go back in their hashish tent, take a chill, relax up. So we're going to do the same thing.
But they try and con you, it's like, download me, smoke some of this. And then when you go down, they twat you.
I'm tempted, believe it, but I've already got that priest at 70% mana, but if I follow in there, I'm going to get my ass kicked. How's that beard?
Darkson and Tucky.
Yeah.
See now, a rogue called Tucky indicates to me that, you know...
A chicken fan?
Yeah, exactly. It's like Clucky, but with a T. Cluck's what a chicken says.
It's also like Kentucky.
Ah.
You like that, didn't you?
I do. He likes chicken. Ah, chicken. It comes into play now.
Hello, what's going on, guys? Okay, so I've got a refresh. I'm refreshed. I'm feeling good. I'll give you a couple of minutes to get back, unless you're. I'm trying to. FaceTime failed. We're trying to keep it low tech as we do at Preach Gaming. So I've got two stories which I planned for tonight, but I didn't realise exactly how long I'd talk for. So I think I'll do the how I got into gaming and ended up as a sort of pro gamer. The other story is about the bad stuff, because I've got 7 years of fucking stories with World of Warcraft. So I'd probably do this. I'll do this again sometime. If you fucking guys enjoy this, I'll do it again. You know, that's a simple thing. That's connecting. Say hello.
So you dig?
Give it a like a boss.
Like a boss.
Alright, fuck off now. Okay, so the bad stuff. Yeah. Let me do how I got into gaming, I think, and then the next story for you guys, because you guys are the most important guys. Really, you really are. So, we'll see how long I talk for. How's that? I can't stay that. So, gaming. How did we get into gaming? We all started somewhere, didn't we? I've already mentioned my dad was seriously old school, okay? My dad is fucking mega old school. Here's a picture of my dad. That was my dad. He's dead now. QQ to that one. That's a picture of my dad. I always have two pictures of my dad on either side of me. So, well, I can't talk all night, can I? So this is like, I always have pictures of my dad watching me because, my dad was old school. He never, if you've got an old school dad, I mean, I was quite rarity. Like my brother is actually from a different mother, not to sound so cliche, but I would never consider him as anything other than my full brother, ever. So Panker is in the chat. My brother has been such an important key person in my life that in a ways he doubled up as a sort of father who knew and understood what we were doing, because there's a huge age gap between me and my brother, from the different partners my dad had. He had two wives, and I'm just trying to set the backstory for you a little bit. So my dad was seriously old school. Okay, he came from a time which none of us in this channel will probably ever appreciate. I can't appreciate. I'm probably the oldest guy here. A time where when you were young at 16 17, you went off and you either joined the army or you joined the navy and stuff like that, and you travelled the world, and you could do that for free and earn loads of money. The money was, we were like Great Britain then, as our country was Great Britain back then, and we had controlled the seas. So we made, the country had such influx of income that my dad worked in. My dad used to express stories to me of how I should live my life from what he could do. Oh, you're 37, so you're winning at the moment. I think my brother's winning. Yeah, my fucking brother's winning, definitely. So I'm 28. I know I look older, but I've been through some shit, me. So I'm 28. So, so you guys might be able to appreciate this stuff. Is that in that time we had nothing like internet or anything like that, or telecommunications. So in that time it was all done sort of manual labour. So there was loads of work and stuff. They had the depression in the 70s, but that was even that's later on in my dad's life. So he would say to me, I spent my 21st birthday in New Orleans going swimming. His big story was you should go to Brazil before you meet a girl. You should go to Brazil. Fortunately or unfortunately, I met my fiancée, who's a dream to me. She's absolutely perfect to me. When I was 20? No, we've been together 10 years now, so 18. I met Emma. So the values that my dad had, this is what I'm trying to instill you, the values that my dad had of what a kid of my age should be doing were very different to what kids of my age were actually doing. They were so different from what he believed was something you should do. Was so different, but my brother understood where I was coming from, and I'll talk about more of my brother later on. So gaming is the topic of today, but just understand that I lived in a household that didn't believe in buying expensive gear. I always had the shitty, like I say, I was a total nerd. Just to give you an example, like Manchester United, I never liked football. When I was at school, when I was about 7, I was desperate for a Manchester United shirt because every kid in the class had a Manchester United shirt. So my dad, being the way he was, bought me a plain grey sweatshirt, plain grey, and then bought a Manchester United badge from the local market, the flea market we call it. It's the cheapy market, okay? It's just so awful. And sewed it onto this plain grey jumper. I shit you not, he got my mother to sew it onto this plain grey jumper. So I had this plain grey jumper with a Manchester United badge there. And I wore it to school every day. I mean, seriously, when I got it, I thought it was the coolest fucking thing I ever had. It was the best fucking shirt in the world. It was awesome. It was absolutely amazing. I had it on all the fucking time, and it was just the shittest jumper ever. I would never wear it or give it to my child ever in the history of time. It was terrible. It was so shit. But I loved it because that was the first time I had something that was branded. And having a brand name like Nike or Adidas back then was like a major social standpoint. Like that is a major social event. So at like age 7, I had this grey sweatshirt with this. I mean, I must have been the trampiest looking kid in school. But by no means were we poor. My dad was very successful at what he did at running pubs. He was hugely successful, too successful in fact. Got something on my nose, sorry. He was hugely successful at what he did. In fact, too successful to the point where he would drive a pub's profits so high that people would, the owners of the pub, because we did what's called a tenancy, blah blah blah, would come in and say, "You need to get out because we need to take this money for ourselves." And that's what actually happened to us. Okay, so it wasn't a case of we didn't have any money to buy branded things, but my dad never saw the point. Because when he was a lad, he would tell you, he was like almost a grandfather type story. He'd tell you, oh, he walked 18 miles to school with shoe boxes on his feet. And the only time he ever saw a swimming pool was when it rained really heavily. These are genuine stories my dad used to tell me. And it's the same reason I can't watch the movie Big Fish with Ewan McGregor, because those stories are exactly how my dad used to live. He used to tell me these stories, which were true, and it's the type of stories that they're so ridiculous. Are they true? Are they fucking true? So that's exactly what it was like, okay? So that was what it was like being around my dad. So computer games were just out. Computer games are just out, okay? There's no such thing as gaming. What the fuck is gaming? But my brother knew about gaming. My brother fucking knew all about gaming, okay? So, starting with the game, the first thing I ever played, I believe, the first computer I ever got was probably when I was about 6 or 5, okay? I got the Commodore 64. The Commodore 64. Now, any of you who've ever played a Commodore 64, the way games came were on tapes. Tapes, physical tapes, like that you used to get music on, okay? They came on tapes. And what you would have to do to play these fucking games is get a separate piece of hardware, like what you consider an external hard drive now, but would be a tape player that you would play fucking music in, and plug it into your Commodore 64, then put your tape in, close the tape, hit go. Get this. A Commodore 64 game, I had RoboCop for the Commodore 64. It would take 45 minutes to load a game. I mean, if you wanted to play a game, I mean, we freak out now at 10 minutes in a queue on an MMO. You would have to come in, power on your computer, your Commodore 64, get it online, put your fucking tape in, close it, start it, and then fuck off for an hour minimum. A fucking hour while the game loaded, and then you could play. And as a kid, 6 or 7 years old, I never ever played it again. And it took my brother, I think my brother bought me this PC, or brought it to my house. And it came with a printer, with that paper that's got the dots on the side, that dot matrix fucking shit. This huge printer, and a printer went in that year, which was been 1987, was like that big, okay? It was like them big motherfuckers that you find in offices now that feed like 8 million sheets. But this would do one sheet of printing every few minutes, and it would be so loud. It'd be like, it was fucking ridiculous. I had all this kit. I never turned it on after that. My brother got it working, or I think actually he bought it off someone. I don't think it was my brother. I could be wrong there. But he got this thing set up, turned it on, and I'm sat there and I'm thinking, this can't be right. 45 minutes, this can't be right, and it didn't load. And I sat there like a kid, you know, at the PC. I've got my Commodore, I'm like, I'm ready to go. I'm going to play my RoboCop game. It fucked me. I never turned it on again. Total waste of money. I never ever turned it on again. Fuck Commodore 64. Fuck it. I'm not playing it ever again. It was fucking shocking. So the next thing I got was the Master System, the Sega Master System. I must have been maybe now I was 7 years old. With Wonder Boy and Starfleet, I want to say. I think my brother will correct me on this. Which games were so bad. And I was not very good at these games. I couldn't understand paper, rock, scissors. Whatever you call it. It's all got different names in different countries. But it's paper, rock, scissors. You know, fist, paper, rap, scissors, you know, cuts the paper. Shit like that. I couldn't remember the order. I couldn't remember the order for shit. And I was just like, oh my god. Now, Wonder Boy in the arcade was different, because I bet you're thinking of the Wonder Boy where you're on a skateboard and you had to jump over rocks and like you had axe throwers and shit. And that fucking game, and it was fucking, it was terrible. It was the worst game ever, and literally just put it down and never really played it again. It was awful. It's just, the games were so bad, and the Starflight game was like the picture of you were supposed to invade the moon, right? You're supposed to play the fucking moon, and like it's just a grey circle with circles on it to simulate sort of craters, and you went around in a little buggy looking for oil, and you could run out of fuel. It was the shittest game ever. No fucker would ever play it now. It was ridiculous. Like, these games back then were fucking wank. So wank. I absolutely hated it. So the Master System was a downer as well. But the Master System, I was desperate to play games because all my friends were playing games. And I'd asked for the Master System for Christmas. Now, at Christmas, of course, as a kid, you must have sneaked up. I mean, there's very few of you here, I bet, have never like snuck out as a kid to see what you're going to get for Christmas. So I went and saw this big box, because the Master System was about that big, it was tiny. But it came in this huge box, yeah, probably for the plug, because the plugs back then were like that. So I then spotted this box and I was like, oh, that might be my Master System. And I remember the night before Christmas Eve, I'm like peeling bits of the paper away, because we lived in a pub, so my parents were working Christmas Eve. They used to work till like, 2 in the morning, Christmas Eve. And I'd be creeping the paper back. And then the box was really weird on the Master System. The box was crazy on the Master System because it was this white square grid box. The design on it was like a grid of grey. You know, big sales pitch, grey. So I peeled it back so much and still no writing was on it. So I couldn't tell if it was a Master System or not. So I'm still peeling it. In the end, I end up taking up nearly half the wrapping paper off this thing to finally say a Sega logo. And then I realised I've got the Master System. Didn't sleep a wink. Did not sleep a wink. Turned the box around so it looked like I hadn't touched it in case my parents came in to check it. Parked it up. Went to bed and I'm there all night because tomorrow I get to play my Master System with Alex the Kid built in. Woo! Built into the system. A game that's just in there. No problem at all. So, and then next morning I get it out and I play it and I'm not impressed by the games, man. I just didn't feel it. I mean, it was... You look back at it as thinking it's an awesome game. Wasn't. Wasn't at all. It's the shittest game ever. It was. If you played it, you get these retro ideas sometimes about games. And you think, wow, that game is fucking awesome. Go back and play it, man, and just ruin it for yourself. Just get rid of those ideas. Seriously, they were fucking terrible. So the Master System was out. Forget about gaming. Never really touched it again. So years go by. A couple of years. And then we're talking probably 1995 now or 94. The Mega Drive was out. The Mega Drive is a big thing. And my brother had the Mega Drive. So at the weekends when I go and stay with my brother, we just play the Mega Drive constantly. We play Michael Jackson's Moonwalker. They'd be like me, my brother, his son. We were playing the Mega Drive constantly. We would all get on bicycles and ride to the local town to rent a game. And then we play it all weekend. And that's what we did. That was our time. And we played games like Sword of Vermilion. Like I say, Michael Jackson's Moonwalker, Cool Spot, that kind of shit. And I so desperately wanted my own Mega Drive, so bad. But the problem is, I've had a Commodore 64 and I've had a Master System and never fucking played it again. Oh, Shinobi. I was the king at Shinobi. Finished it with ease. Shadow Dancer. Shadow Dancer was fucking awesome. So good. And I desperately wanted my own Mega Drive. So I believe my brother spoke to my dad, or I requested a Mega Drive for the next Christmas, okay? Or my birthday. My birthday's right next to Christmas. And then I spoil it for myself. We lived on a hill, okay? The pub we lived in at the time was on a hill. And you had to walk up the hill to get to the house from the shop. And my dad would send me to pick up papers and stuff like that for him. You know, the odd jobs that your parents send you on as a kid. Like, as a kid, you're just a total lackey, aren't you? You're just like a total Sherpa. Like, here's some money. Go and do all this shit for me that I just can't be arsed doing. Go to the shop and get me a paper. Because I'm an old man now and I can't be arsed. So you go and do it for me. And I can't wait to have a kid to do the exact same thing. I'm serious. I'm going to send my kid everywhere. My kid is going to be, like, so skinny from just doing all this shit for me that I can't be arsed doing. So I walk up the street and there's my brother in his car. Like, my brother's car is in the car park at our pub. And my dad is stood talking to my brother and I'm like, holy shit, my brother's here. This is amazing. My fucking brother's here. Because I loved seeing my brother. He lived a long way away. And I look instantly, glance into the back of the car. And there it is. Barely covered by a sheet. Like it was undercover. Barely covered is the Sega Mega Drive. And the first question I ask him is, why have you brought your Mega Drive to the house? Can I borrow it? And he go, I think on the spot, they go, no, you can't borrow it. I'm taking it somewhere. So he'd obviously been and picked up the Mega Drive for me. I'd spotted it and spoiled it for myself. And then tried to make up a story on the spot because I totally clocked it. And so you can imagine my dad's face, you know, he's spent all this money, which was probably expensive at the time. I think the Mega Drive was about £100, something like that, maybe less. But that was loads of money back then. So he says, no, it's for something else. And my brother was playing it off as well. He's like, oh, no, it's not for you. You can't borrow it. I'm taking it somewhere. It needs repairs. Something, you know, some shit like that anyway. So I was so depressed. I've never been so happy and so depressed within like 30-second period. It was like, yes! My brother's here! There's a Mega Drive in the car! Woohoo! Oh, you can't play it and I'm going now. So depressed, like instantly so fucking depressed. Rubbish. Anyway, as it turned out, for Christmas I got the Mega Drive. And that's when I first clocked that I was actually pretty good at games. Of all the skills to pick up in life, it turned out I was pretty good at games. I had, what did I get with it? I got FIFA 96 or FIFA 92. One of those games anyway, and I owned at FIFA. Fucking FIFA, I was awesome. And FIFA back then wasn't anything like it is now. It was two little 2D blokes with a little fucking white circle kicking it about the pitch, and all you had was kick and shoot, some shit like that. Fucking wank game. So, but I was fucking awesome at it. I like played it, and I was just got so good at it because I played it for hours and hours and hours. I won every league. I remember like I played a full 90-minute game and got like 99 goals, and then the goal counter stopped going up. I actually beat it. I was like so cool. And then I ended up spending so much time in game shops just looking at Mega Drive games and drooling. And then the first game was announced that I read about. I started reading about things. One of them was Sonic the Hedgehog 2 would have the Mobius loop, which will be hard for you to grasp how important this was for 3D technology in the day, is when Sega went, we've made Sonic 2 and it contains the Mobius loop, and a never-ending loop in 3D. Your character will spin in 3 dimensions along this Mobius loop. And it was massive. The whole fucking world of gaming started to ignite with fucking Mobius loop talk. How have they done this? How have they created a loop that can never end within a game and it's 3D? This is insane, absolutely crazy. So we're going to get Sonic 2, which is going to have all this stuff, and I'm like, wow, Sonic 2's coming. And then you could only get games when it was like fucking Christmas. You only got games at Christmas and your birthday. So Sonic 2 was the major game, and I finished Sonic 2. Didn't have much replayability. I went back to FIFA, and I was just playing FIFA and Sonic 2, FIFA, Sonic 2, FIFA, Sonic 2. So it then came to the game which really took off for me, which took me to the next level of being a gamer, Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat was the steamrolling game which really ignited gamers together. Mortal Kombat was the game which brought gamers into the fucking 21st century. Mortal Kombat was going to be the first game which was fully interactively modelled on fucking people. And it was going to be awesome. And it contained fatalities. Before this point, games are just not even likely to contain blood or anything like that. Blood was so rare and that kind of shit. I mean, Pit Fighter was there as well, but Mortal Kombat was fucking coming. And all you saw in the magazines, because you used to buy the gaming magazines, didn't you? You used to go and buy like Mega Drive Monthly or whatever, because we had no blogs or internet forums or anything like that. You go and get your fucking Mega Drive, and then you'd see these fatalities, people falling onto spikes in the fucking pit. Scorpion was going to shoot fucking rope out of his hand that would stab people in the throat and drag him in. You were going to be able to remove people's heads, including their spine. This is what this game was advertising. Mortal Kombat was the bloodiest, most violent game ever to be fucking released, okay? Mortal Kombat was going to be the shit. And everybody had to have it. At our age, everybody had to have Mortal Kombat. I told my dad about it for so long. And it was the first game that contained an 18s. First game that contained an 18s that was on a console. So it was like really, really a big deal. Mortal Kombat scores stirring the papers. Similar to our Sonic Level Select. Pfft. So it's like this is going to be a major deal because these are digitized characters ripping the heads off each other and like live and holding it up and stuff like that. It was a major deal. Quite a big thing. So I remember when it was coming, it was in 18s. So when I went to buy it, my dad gave me the money. He said, go and buy the game for your birthday, but bring it straight back and you're not allowed to play it. So how fucking shit is that? So you do the old chestnut. I actually went to the shop. I was, what year would that have been? So I would have been about 11 or maybe less, maybe 9 or 10. And the shop sold me Mortal Kombat 18s. They sold it to me. That's how shops work, you know. The little game shops, that's how they work. You want the money? You've got the money? Right, fine, there's the fucking game. So at that age, I go and get the game. And I was looking at it all the way home. I opened it. I was reading the manual. It was the longest walk home in the history of man. The longest walk home you can ever imagine. I'm walking home from the game place like 1 pace an hour because I'm reading this game. But I'm also thinking I'm going to get robbed. So I'm like hiding the game in the book and I'm like reading it like this. And I'm like, oh my god, Sub-Zero looks so fucking cool. I need to play Sub-Zero. Give me Sub-Zero. Liu Kang looks shit. I'm not playing Liu Kang. Nobody liked Liu Kang. Liu Kang was fucking wank. So, like, I was reading it. It was the longest walk home. This little fat, chubby kid reading his little book. And it was totally amazing. And I got home, and then I thought all the way, how can I play this game? I need to play this game. So I said to my dad, Dad, this is like 11 or 12-year-old sort of fucking logistics for you. This is the kind of negotiations you can come up with at that age. So I go, Dad, I've bought the game. Now, I think I should play it for a few minutes to make sure it isn't broken. Okay? That seems legitimate to me, and it should seem legitimate to you, is that I should test the game. Because what we don't want to do is lay out all this money, Dad, and it not work. And then we've had it for so long because my birthday's not for another week or so that we can't return it. Are you seeing where I'm coming from, Dad? It makes sense that I should test it. In fact, not testing it and letting me play it right now is actually a bad decision. It's a bad move, Dad. I think we should get together and we should make this happen. Me and you. And of course, it looks at me and thinks, idiot. You fucking idiot. But yeah, go ahead and fucking play it. Go ahead and play the game. So I did. I turned it off 5 minutes, and then lo and behold, 5 minutes later, my dad walks in and takes the game off me, like pulls it out of the machine. I'm like, Dad, you're gonna break the game. He just whips it out of the Mega Drive, slams it in the box, off he goes. No more Mortal Kombat for me. Now, Mortal Kombat was the first game I really truly invested time in to get better. I was awesome at every character, and when I started playing with against other people, I literally could beat them by not looking at the screen. I used to sit on the floor because they said it was unfair and nobody ever wanted to play me. That was how it rolled. No one ever wanted to play me at Mortal Kombat because I was that good at it. I used to sit on the floor and face away from the screen so I couldn't see the TV and own them still. Because I knew all the abilities, I would just spam the abilities on the gamepad and just rape face constantly. That's all I did. It's just raping fucking face on Mortal Kombat. So at this point in time, my brother starts getting into PCs. And at school age, PCs are useless. We don't play PCs. PCs are fucking rubbish. We play Mega Drive. Mega Drive, what it's all about, or what the next gen console is going to be. We don't play PCs. What good games are on the PC? PC shit. So I was all about the Mega Drive. My brother starts going, yo, you need to check out these PC games I've got. There's a game here called Doom. It's really good. And I'm like, whatever, man. I don't fucking care about Doom. Fuck Doom. Doom sounds shit. So I'm like, yeah, exactly. I played Battle Chess. I was there, man. I was all about the Battle Chess, Tommy. So, he says about Doom and Wolfenstein. Excuse me. I went down the wrong hole. So, he tells me about Wolfenstein and stuff like that. We had all these, Guten Tag! Wolfenstein and throwing the syringes and all that. He's telling me about all this cool stuff he's got on his PC. And I'm like, whatever, man. I've got fucking Mortal Kombat here. Of course it's not cooler than Mortal Kombat. And his fucking table. So there you go. My brother brought down a university network playing Doom. That's what was going on at this time. So eventually I did spend my weekends at my brother's. And I go to my brother's and he shows me Battle Chess. And I was like astounded because I could play chess. And like the pieces are moving. It's like, what the fuck? And then he shows me Wolfenstein. I must have spent 7 or 8 hours of my life running across walls in Wolfenstein, holding the spacebar to find secrets. There's like to unlock treasure or some fucking useless shit. That's how it used to work in them games. They were just all like 3D worlds, and you just spam your spacebar. Yeah, collecting gold shit, just pressing the spacebar along every wall in the whole fucking game. What were we thinking? Who thought that was fun? And then it opened. Like, the secret opened, you were like, I found a secret! Call the fucking president! I found a secret in Wolfenstein, and look what's in here! Goblets of gold in 2D sprites! How fucking tired! Spacebar all the way around the world. Like, you've got to unlock all the secrets in Wolfenstein. It's key! It's fucking key! You can't complete the game without finding all the secrets. And then the level would taunt you at the end. You finish the level, it'd go, oh yeah, 2 of 12 secrets found, and you're like, I'm not fucking standing for that. Replay that level! Replay that level right now. I'll find those fucking secrets. I'll spacebar the shit out of this place. I'm not even fucking joking. So we go and fucking play it. We'd be out with like spacebar and stuff. And then especially if you were playing with friends or you're playing with someone like my brother who knew where a secret was and you knew you'd gone past it, you'd be like, you found the secret. Big smug grin, like the troll face, like, it's like, oh yeah, there's a secret in that room. You'd be there for hours. There might not even be a secret. I'm sure he trolled me many times saying, secret in that room. And I'd be there for hours looking for the fucking secret. But again, then I started to think, as a kid, you want what your brother's got, don't you? You want the next latest thing. So I wanted a PC. And so I go back to my dad, I'm like, Dad, I want a PC, Dad, I want a PC, Dad, I want a PC. He's like, I just bought you a Mega Drive a couple of years ago. What's wrong with it? Nothing's wrong with it, but PCs are better, Dad. PCs are better, I want a PC. So he bought me a PC and it had Doom on it. And in order to play Doom, you couldn't load Windows. It would use too much of the PC memory. You had to load from the boot menu. You had to like F5 out of Windows and then load Doom using DOS. You couldn't load Windows. If you loaded Windows, Doom wouldn't work. Your computer wouldn't have enough memory to play the game. You had to stop loading Windows, then load up Doom, and then you could play, okay? So then you're playing Doom and shit like that. And that's how the PCs were back then, you know? You couldn't possibly play anything through Windows. You had to stop Windows, go down to fucking DOS, cd/doom/Doom.exe, and then you started doing batch files, so you could, like, macro the command. Like, I thought it was super cool, because I could write a batch file in DOS, which basically was 2 lines of code, which would be go into the Doom folder and activate Doom. That's how cool I was. And told you, total nerd at school. I was like, oh, have you not got a batch file for that? My C folder was just full of batch files of all sorts of shit games that I had. Fucking crazy. It was like, oh yeah, you can shortcut it. So all you have to type is Doom. And oh, it works. Oh, yeah, I know. It's fucking amazing. So fucking stupid. So my dad my dad doesn't really understand this interest in gaming, and he thinks that at my age I should be out playing football. My dad's a huge football fan. He thinks he should be out playing football. Makes me join a football team. And I don't want to play football. I want to play fucking games, man. I want to play games. And he just doesn't understand gaming. He starts getting a bit pissed about it. He generally starts getting a bit pissed. That he even come into it. I remember this scene very clearly. I was sat playing Chuck Rock, I think. Something like that. I'm playing Chuck Rock. And my dad walks in. And my dad was a big fella. And he goes, what's the matter with you? And I was just playing a game. I'm like, nothing's wrong with me. Why? They said, no, there's something wrong. Nobody stays in the house this long. You haven't been out in like days. I'm like, yeah, I got a new game. I'm fucking playing Chuck Rock. And he's like, you tell me if something was wrong. He genuinely thought there was something seriously wrong with me. Like, I'd been bullied or something. Like, there was something seriously wrong. Because kids didn't stay in and play games. No, when he was a kid, you went out and played football. Or you fucking rubbed stones together. Whatever stuff kids my dad's age did, you know. You found a twig and, like, played for hours with your twig or something. You certainly didn't sit around shooting demons in the face or being medieval men throwing fucking rocks around or anything like that. You know, you just didn't do it. So he generally thought there was something wrong with me. And trying to explain to him that, no, it's fine. You know, I'm really, really fucking normal. You know, this is a normal thing for kids to be doing these days, Dad. This is like the computer age. This is what we do. We play games. And he just didn't get it. He really didn't get it. He generally, you know, he was like, I think maybe you should see a therapist because he's clearly being bullied or he's keeping secrets from us. He's keeping secrets from us because he's not going out and playing with his friends. And I'm like, I don't really care for those friends. I care for the internet. Well, not the internet. The internet didn't exist. I care for the game. I'm gaming, man. I'm gaming. Fuck off, Dad. I'm fucking gaming. I'm going to get to the next level here. Don't you understand? It's really important. Yeah, twig robbing was the shit. That was what it was all about. Total baller. So about this time, we're moving on to high school now, okay? I've got my PC. PC sucks. Brother totally ripped me off. Can't even load Windows. I had something like Coral Draw, but that crashed my PC. You know, it's total shit. So I've got a PC and a Mega Drive. Move on to high school, and this is where Ghost sort of enters the picture. And the N64. Sup, Kyle? And the N64. And now I start fucking turning it up. I mean, I could talk endlessly about the games we played. I'm trying not to touch on that, but yeah, Command & Conquer, RL stopped when we got Command & Conquer. That was just me and my brother. It was just non-stop Command & Conquer. But the N64 came out, so I dropped the PC and moved back to console because in high school everybody had a Nintendo 64, and I got GoldenEye. I was the first person in the entire school. This is how cool I was, guys. You want to know who to hang around with the cool kids? I was the first person to unlock every of the cheats in GoldenEye. You had to do things like like the invincibility cheat was on Facility. You had to finish Facility in like 2 minutes 10. I think it was about 2 minutes 10 or 2 minutes 5. You had to finish like the one that goes into space in like a minute. Yeah, it was all speed runs. You had to do speed runs, and I did them all. I was the first person to unlock invincibility, and I went into school and I was like, unlocked invincibility last night on GoldenEye. Like a boss. And people fucking totally call me a liar. And it made me so angry. It's the first time I nerd raged, okay? And I think that's a very important moment to remember is when you nerd rage for the first time. People are like, no one's unlocked invincibility. It's impossible to do. It's pretty much impossible, mate. You haven't done it. You're shit at games. Turns out I wasn't that shit at games. And I actually, this is true story, I had to bring people who I barely knew from school to my home to show them the GoldenEye menu where I had unlocked all the cheats. I seriously did that because it made me so angry that people would call me out on a game. It infuriated me. I was like, I fucking have unlocked invincibility. I've done them all. I've got the golden gun. I've got the all weapons cheat. I've got the infinite ammo cheat. I've got them all. And then they'd be like reeling them off. Have you done this? Have you done this? I'd be like, yeah, I've got them all. What don't you understand, you fucking idiots? I'm a baller. Check it. And I actually had to bring people from my home to see my GoldenEye menu screen. And then I'd be like, kick them out. I'm like, there's all the cheats. Off you go. Fucking didn't matter. So that was like my normal circle of friends. And then, of course, Ghost enters the picture. And after that, I never really even spoke to them people again. On and off, I spoke to them every now and again. And I really started just spending all my time with Ghost because we got wrestling games like WrestleMania 2000. WrestleMania 2000, I must have invested probably 60 or 80, maybe even, fuck it, I'm guessing, but like 100 hours of my life playing WrestleMania 2000. Seriously, we did everything you could possibly do in that game. And then we would just create characters like we created. You could make your own character. I made my dad, and Ghost made his dad, and we made them a tag team called the Angry Dads because they always used to shout at us for being like, they thought we were gay and stuff, and like because we were either wrestling on the bed together, or we were playing wrestling together, or watching wrestling. That's all we did at that time. We were either playing wrestling games, we were watching wrestling, we were watching men either greased up, rubbing all over each other, we were playing a game of men greased up, rolling all over each other, or we were rolling all over each other. That's what we were doing. So you can understand his point of view. Yeah, exactly. So that's what we spent our entire time doing. Either at my house or his house, we were playing WrestleMania 2000. And we were really good at it as well. It was pointless anybody else coming to even play the game. That was when social world started to drift away, okay? The idea that you needed real life friends to make things count just didn't matter. We had each other, and we had wrestling, and we had games. Done. Fuck it. Are you seeing any girls at the moment? Or, all the cool kids will be like, yeah, we're getting drunk on Friday in the park, and we've got girls coming. Well, we don't fucking care. We're playing fucking WrestleMania 2. Do you not know that WrestleMania 2000's out? Are you not aware that WrestleMania 2000's out? On the Nintendo 64. On the best console on the market. 64-bit console. WrestleMania's out. You want to spend your time with girls? Well, losers. We would want to play some wrestling. That's what we wanted to do. And then the first thing that got worse is that a new wrestling game came out, because that's all we bought then. There was no point in buying other games because we had WrestleMania. WWF No Mercy came out. No Mercy was released onto the market, bugged that if you turned the game off, it would delete everything you've fucking done it. It would delete everything you've done. It would literally just turn off and wipe the cartridge, because it came with a cartridge. It would wipe the memory on the cartridge. So everything you'd done would just disappear. Our solution was not to return the game, however. Our solution was just not to turn off the Nintendo. Ever. We just did not turn it off. We just left it on. I must have had my Nintendo 64 on for about 4 months straight. 4 months straight. And then my mum noticed it was on, because we used to leave it on, put something over the light that showed you Nintendo was on, and turn the TV off, and then nobody could tell. But my mum eventually noticed and turned it off. It totally wiped the cartridge. We've done 4 months worth of effort into this game, non-stop, piling everything into it, designing our characters, making our music right. Our entrance was just right. Ghost, there's a running joke between me and Ghost. Whenever he has to create a character, he has to do it before we start playing. We did this with Star Wars The Old Republic. I told him he had to make his character in his own time, because it takes him hours. He will be there for an hour. And No Mercy, if he decided he didn't like his shirt, that was it. There was no gaming for the next hour and a half. He would spend an hour and a half going through every single fucking shirt in the game to make sure he had the correct look. And it used to drive me mental. It's absolutely crazy. So he still does it to this day. In Star Wars, it took him God knows how long to create his character. Insane amount of time. So PC gaming's out. All about the wrestling game. But again, that started to die again. And this is where my brother really comes into shine. By this point, my brother had become a certified IT bloke. And my brother had what can only be described as the best gaming setup in the world. Because my brother's got a gaming family, pretty much. Yeah, a gaming family. All the children play. and they were all coming to the age where they could play on their own computers. And my brother obviously had access to hardware and stuff that he could get and buy stuff for them and set their own computers up. So when I went to my brother's new house, he brought a new house and he had a huge front room. My brother had a room with desks all the way around it. This was supposed to be a front room where you sit and watch TV. So you know your front room is probably normal. It's got like a couch or a settee and a TV and a VHS and all that kind of stuff. When he went to my brother's house, it was a big empty room that had a nice solid wood floor and desks all the way around it in a big circle. And on it was PC after PC after PC after PC. And a nerd, I walked in and went, this is the coolest fucking place I have been in my entire life. This is like, I was so jealous. I don't even own a PC by this point. My PC was dead and buried long ago when I was Nintendoing. My brother's got PCs all around, and they're all top-notch PCs. They're all the fucking balls. It was ridiculous, guys. I wish I could take a picture of that room again, because even now I can't appreciate the awesome. The awesome was just too fucking much. So much awesome. So I have 6 PCs, and then on one PC would be my brother, on the other PC would be my nephew, and on another PC would be my niece, and another PC would be my other niece, and then on another PC would be a nice chair for me. A little chair for me. He's like, oh, just pull up a chair, bro, and dive on a PC. And I was just like, what the fuck? This is amazing. It wasn't a case of where you had to sit around and wait for somebody to fucking finish. This was there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There wasn't a front room. It was gamer paradise. Why do we need a front room to watch TV? We've got a TV on the side of the desk, but I've got it next to my PC. Holy shit, it was just unbelievable. And there would just be chilling out in the room. It was a permanent LAN. So you'd walk in and you'd just be a permanent LAN. And the rest of the house was just kind of ignored. This room was like pristine, okay? Because 99% of everybody's time in the entire house was spent in this room, besides going to bed, which never happened till like God knows what time. Maybe you can back me up, like 3 or fucking 4 in the morning. People would actually go to bed and then go to work in the morning or go to school or whatever. But as soon as you come home, you were in the PC room. The rest of the house was superfluous. The kitchen was excess. The bathroom upstairs was just a waste of time. You know, it's the fact that you had bedrooms was awesome. And every cupboard you go in, like my brother would say, oh, what's wrong with your Nintendo? I might have something. He'd open this cupboard of fucking awesome, which would just have like a Nintendo, a NES, a SNES, an old Mega Drive, every game you could fucking imagine. Just all sorts of shit. It was fucking unbelievable. You just had this gaming plaza to go into. And then this is when the internet, I've skipped ahead a little bit because I'm talking for a while, but the internet now was quite readily available to everybody. The internet was quite a big thing. Broadband didn't exist, I want to say, or maybe it did. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. Maybe my brother can back me up around NC times, bro. Was broadband out at NC times, NC launch? Must have been, in fact, because you were running so many PCs off it, so we must have had broadband by this point. And then an MMO was developed, and I'd never even heard of an MMO. So yeah, it was on modems. Okay, so they were playing on modems. These 7 PCs playing on modems, and my brother says, there's an MMO out. So I have skipped ahead quite a while. We've gone from sort of Doom to this game, and I used to come round, and he said, and they're all playing one game, which was just obscene. You'd never seen anything like this before, because everyone was playing their own games on the PCs. But now everybody's playing the same game, and nobody's doing anything. I'm a console guy now. I'm playing GoldenEye and all that stuff. And I walk in and everyone's playing the same game. And nobody's doing anything. And they're in fact talking to each other in the middle of the room. And my brother's talking to somebody on his PC. And I'm like, what's going on? What are you guys doing? And he says, we've got this new game. It's an MMO. I said, what's an MMO? And he's trying to explain it to me. But in a world where you can only imagine that the maximum amount of players on a game is 4, because you're playing a Nintendo 64, the maximum amount of players, and things like 8 players needed extra hardware for your console to have 8 players. I think the PlayStation had 8 players if you bought certain amounts of kit, or maybe that extended it to 4. Might have been just to 4. So in a world where you can only imagine 4 people playing together, my brother just said, it's a game where hundreds of people are playing together at the same time. And I just couldn't grasp it. Like in my head, I just could not understand what he was talking about. And I'm like, well, show me the game then. And it was a game called Neocrom, as my brother's put in there, and it was an FPS MMO, first of its kind, really. I think we had some America's Army and blah 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 blah, bits and bobs of shit like that. But this was the first one that had some serious fucking, serious sort of FPS combat. And yeah, as my brother said, it's a life changer because, first of all, I thought it looked awful because no matter what was going on, everyone was stood still. They looked like they were playing a normal FPS game, but they just stood still. Because they're all talking, and what they're actually talking about, and what I couldn't grasp, is the formation of a guild. They were talking about forming their own guild. And I just couldn't grasp it. So I was speaking to like my nephew, and I'm going, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm just waiting for me dad to sort out what's happening with the clan, as it was in them. It was the clan. So I'm like, the clan? What clan? He said, oh, well, we're going to get together and make our own clan. And I'm like, is that a team? I didn't understand it. It was just such a new and amazing concept. And I didn't understand it. And for months, every time I went to my brother's at the weekend, they were just playing this game. And it looked so boring. And I kept asking, can we get the Nintendo out? Can I play the Nintendo? And they're going, yeah. But they were so locked in. Your first MMO is like a life sucker, okay? So they were sucked into this game. So you try asking a question, nobody'd respond to you. And I started to hate this fucking game. I absolutely fucking hated this game because I couldn't even speak to my family. I come round for the weekend and not get an answer to a question because they'd be like, yeah. And then about fucking 8 o'clock at night, after you've been there all day, they turn around and go, should we get something to eat? And I'm like, this is shit. When it first came out, I wanted to go home, and I'm sure I actually stopped coming round for a few weeks. So I was like, no, I'll stay at home. They're going to be playing Neocron all the time. I don't want to play that. And what's Neocron? I don't know, some fucking game, but they don't seem to be doing anything in it. It just looks shit. You know, you try to explain it to your friends after you just played James Bond and shit, and you're like, oh, it looks wank, this game. It looks shit. I didn't want to play it. I couldn't understand what was going on. I didn't have a PC. I certainly didn't have a fucking modem when you had to pay per minute. And it's like, what the fuck can they do? You know, I can't even fucking play this game. So, Ghost came with me. Ghost had become part of the family, essentially. I consider Ghost part of our family, essentially. It's been so close for the last 20 years, pretty much, that it'd be stupid not to think of him that way. So Ghost come with me to my brother's house. We're both rocking on about 16, 17 now. And he takes an interest in Neocron because he watches them play it. And I'm like, oh, it's going to be boring, this, mate, because they're going to be playing this fucking game all the time. What game? Neocron. Turns up. Ghost grasps it like that. Ghost seriously fucking just grasps it. He looks at Neocron. They explain it to him quickly. Like that. Got it. I fucking want Neocron. That's what Ghost says straight away. He has a PC. He has a modem already. I want Neocron. I just want it. I absolutely want it now. Goes home. Gets it. Buys it online. It was an online game. All you needed was the client. If you had a modem, you could download the client. Boom. Off you go. Just like that. And he was done. Ghost was playing it. So now I'd lost like my family, my gamer family, and Ghost. I was like, fuck. fuck. Nobody wants to play wrestling with me. This is bullshit. This is fucking bullshit, man. Absolutely crazy. I was like, oh, fucking hell. You know, nobody just wants to play some wrestling with me? Come on, what are you all playing this shit game for? So I cracked, and I think my brother gave me one of the older PCs, and the modem, but I was only allowed to play Neocron for about an hour at a time because of the way the internet was. You had to pay per hour, so I had to turn it off every hour. And then my dad obviously knew when I was playing because it was so loud, the modem. Then you remember that? You fucking knew when the modem was going on. So we couldn't like play it for extended periods of time. It was an MMO, but my brother had paid for like so it was free if it was on all the time kind of thing. Well, you paid a monthly subscription, and he had it all the time. And eventually I got that, and I got sucked in this first MMO. And I'll tell you the truth, I was shit at it. I was just so bad. And in fact, it turned out that my brother and his family actually were in a different faction than what I was. So we never played together, like in the same team. Many of the time, in fact, we come up against each other in fights in the game. It was an FPS game. So clan versus clan wars would take place. And it was fully FPS. I'd actually come up against my brother sometimes, and I was awful. I wasn't very good at all. I was about average, I'd say. I'd never really played a PC before. I was N64, I have Master System, all that kind of shit. I certainly never really played Twitch-based combat, so it was very new to me, you know. So I was very average, ultimately average. And I bumped into some fucking guys. Later, Snail. I bumped into some guys and I joined a clan and all that. And then I met people like Genji. That's where I met Genji, so we're talking a long time ago. And it was just, this is when I started to become a PC gamer. This is when it really develops. I played this game, Neocron, and it was fucking amazing. it was just so enthralling to get into it and understand what he meant by these hundreds of people around and just ganking people. And it's such a violent game. This is a game where you lost your gear if you died. If you died, you lost an item. Can you imagine that in World of Warcraft? You died and lost your ash candy, or you lost your legendary dagger. That's what fucking happened. If you died, you lost your fucking items. That's it. And you could talk to the enemy. It was like Alliance could talk to Horde, and there'd just be constant verbal wars going on in the chat all the time. I mean, really hardcore shit. It was serious. It was serious gaming. It was great fun. Really, really loved it. And then, of course, a game called World of Warcraft was coming out, and the beta had been released. And the people from Neocron started playing World of Warcraft, and it sounded so pussy to me. As a cool, probably been about 18 then, 18 years old, when you're fucking all cool and you're playing the coolest games, and you know, you're a super smooth badass and all that shit. People are talking about elves and finding fucking Lights of Elune. That is sounded like the shittest game ever. Compared to what I was doing now, I was using miniguns to tear people a new one. Now you're talking about playing elves and gnomes and dwarfs and fucking cows and shit like that. I mean, it just sounded awful. It sounded so bad. And everybody had a beta key. We all got given beta keys because we knew people in the gaming world now. We're starting to become part of a gaming community. So we all had beta keys. And yeah, it was like... I didn't play... I think my brother switched to do WoW pretty quickly with his friends from Neocron. The entire clan, I think, switched. And I stayed with Neocron for a long time. A long, long time. I stayed for as long as I could in Neocron until eventually it was like nobody left. Genji had gone, and Genji was like my closest friend in there. Ghost had gone. He was playing Warcraft. No, Ghost wasn't playing Warcraft, but he wasn't playing Neocron. He just fell out. I think he fell out of PC gaming entirely at that point. And I also bought a flat with my flatmate, which wasn't Ghost, but Ghost essentially was a flatmate that didn't pay. He was there like 24 hours a day. Ghost used to sleep on my couch in my house, in my flat, like 4 out of 7 days a week. Easy. It's fucking... He used to just sit there, he'd just stay on it, and then we wake up in the morning and turn the games on and play Command & Conquer Generals, shit like that. But he used to wear like... Emma, I was with Emma at the time, and she had a bright pink blanket with monkeys all over it, and he'd just wrap himself in it, have a cigarette, and that'd be it. It'd be fucking good to go. He would be fucking good to go. There he is. That's the guy there. I mean, he will tell you for the truth. He used to wake up on my couch every like morning, wrap a blanket around yourself. You'd still be wearing your underwear. You'd just be wearing a pair of boxers, wrap the thing around him, have a cig, and then fucking get to go. Am I wrong? Am I telling a lie? Or is that exactly what you used to do, man? And I was just the same. I used to get up and smoke marijuana at like 8 o'clock in the morning, and then we'd crack on with some Command & Conquer or Freelancer, as we were playing at the time, I think. Yeah, totally. So WoW looked crap to me. And eventually we did crack as well. My brother was well into it. I think my brother had capped by this point. So we decided to... I spoke to my brother. I said, look, I want to play Warcraft. What server are you on? I don't want to be like Neocron where we were on the wrong factions and shit like that. Let's play together. Let's get the family going. So he says, right, we're on the Alakir EU server Alliance side. I'll get you sorted in our guild. Cool. So it's like fucking... We installed, I don't know if Ghost remembers this, we bought 2 copies of World of Warcraft, we had 2 computers at my flat, installed World of Warcraft, and we both leveled hunters, I think. We both made Night Elf hunters. Cool, or what? Night Elf hunters. And we didn't understand professions, so around level 10 or something, I picked up fishing, he picked up cooking, right? So we would literally level until we found a river, and then we were like, we need to level our cooking and fishing. He was like, yeah, I've just bought some good fishing recipes. So I would sit there fishing, and he would make a campfire behind me, and then I would trade him fish. He would then cook the fish, and then we would have food for our pets. Awesome! Is that not the coolest shit ever? That is exactly what we used to do. We'd fucking... we would level, and we're like, oh, there's a new river here. We should check what kind of fish come out of it, and maybe we can level our cooking a little bit. Yeah, okay. Because our pets are going to need it. Yeah, okay. Good team. And it's the exact same fucking point. I went on a trip to Amsterdam with my flatmate. So we left, mistakenly, the keys to the flat with Ghost. So I played World of Warcraft, and I definitely enjoyed it. I certainly enjoyed World of Warcraft. I thought, this is a really fucking cool game. This is a pretty fucking cool game. So I was gutted to leave it, but we'd booked this trip to Amsterdam. So me and my flatmate went to Amsterdam and left Ghost with the keys so he could play World of Warcraft because he didn't have a PC now that could run World of Warcraft. So a week later we come back from Amsterdam. My PC is broken. Something's wrong with it. Something is diabolically wrong with it. Ghost has been playing my computer and there's something iffily wrong with my computer now. It's not working. But he's done the washing up. He's washed all the plates in the house. It now looks, and he's washed all the rooms. So everything looks really spick and span, but the PC is broken. So I was on the phone to my brother, who was like the 0800 number for solving PC issues. The computer's broken. Can you sort out what we need to do? So my brother come down, fixes the computer. It was only something minor. I think the power leader come loose or some shit. So the Ghost is relieved because he thought he'd fucked the PC up. So he goes. So we get back onto World of Warcraft, and I re-roll a warrior. And that was the first class that I played, is the warrior. Dwarf warrior. Got him to level 60 eventually. And it was a long time getting that dwarf warrior to level 60. And then tried to join raids. I joined the guild with my brother. And they wouldn't let me raid. They said I was too shit. Although they'd never actually seen me in a party. I started tanking as well. I actually found I thought this tanking thing's quite cool once I got used to it a little bit. It was quite hard back in the day. You used to tank there was no such thing as protection spec. You would tank as Fury or Arms. No one spec'd protection. What a waste of time. So I got used to tanking because I just had to spam Sunder Armor back then. It was dead easy. Sunder. You had aggro. So I thought I was a pretty cool little dwarf tank. Which little did I know I'd pick the best racial in the game as well. Booyah! Baller! Natural. So, but nobody had let me raid. They wouldn't let me join for Molten Core. They wouldn't let me join for Onyxia. They said I was too newbie. I didn't have enough fire resistance. I was shit. I was bad. So I quit the game pretty quickly after hitting level 60. I quit the fucking game. Gave it up. World of Warcraft, loved it, but couldn't get anything done at level 60. Wasn't interested. Couldn't play at level 60. Went back to Neocron because all my friends had as well. Played Neocron for about a month, and then we all decided to re-roll, and that's where the real journey started. That was where the journey started, where I become where I am today. And that is a different story, guys, because I've been talking for nearly 2 hours, and my mouth hurts. So that's how I got to World of Warcraft. And the rest of the story is when I'm more awake and not been talking for 2 hours. We'll talk about the bad things I did on that journey. The good and the bad things I did on my journey to becoming one of the better players. Keep going, get a jar in you. No. I want to save some stuff for another time. I'll give you some clues as to things I've done which are particularly grim. I have tore a guild down for my own personal benefit. I have driven people to cry in World of Warcraft. In rage. Cry in rage. I've made people quit the game. I've not destroyed, but I destroyed one guild for my own progression. I did do that. I destroyed one guild for my own progression. I then sort of destroyed another guild, but not meaning to destroy it. I'm guilty about these things. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. This is where WoW takes you on a long journey, especially if you've been playing as long as I have. To get to the level I want, if you want to get to the world first stuff, you need to be like, you need to do some. Especially because I was that age. I was like king of the world. I mean, I spoke about this with my brother. I actually got to meet my brother today, and we spent a few hours together. And I explained it to him, and he just said, "That's part of the age. That's part of the fucking age." I thought I was king of the world. I was playing a class. I was playing a priest. But again, I don't want to get too much into this story. I was playing a priest, and a priest in vanilla gave me a lot of power. But I did a lot of good things too. I don't want to spoil that. I've made people cry in happiness. I've made people incredibly happy, and more so now. Like when I sort of as I got older, I sort of appreciated exactly how much of a dick I was originally, and elitist, very elitist. I could not stand bad players. I didn't understand it. After I couldn't understand how they couldn't be as good as me. I just could not understand it. Why are you not as good as me? And World of Warcraft is really where I picked up my niche of understanding game mechanics and things like that. And really started to think things in a different fucking level. So that's the next story. I think we've covered enough stuff because I've been talking for 2 hours. I was supposed to be on for an hour, you guys. But yeah, I will go over those mistakes. You're right, I learned from it. And I did those things. But more to the point that there's probably people... If I did those things, the reason I want to tell these stories is not to sort of get it off my chest or anything like that, because loads of people know what I've done. And the good stuff as well. I'm not trying to say this is all bad stuff. There's a balance, you know, of things that good and bad that I did for people. It's more the point that things could be. These things are bound to still be happening. The things that I did to make myself better in WoW and to progress myself are things that could probably be happening to new gamers for the same reasons. That people might be above you. There might be better players who are using you as a stepping stone. Because I used a lot of people as a stepping stone, especially in 40-man raids. If I was to count the amount of people I used as stepping stones to get to like Method, which is eventually the best guild I ever played in was Method in terms of hourly, in terms of you know, a world first ranking or a world ranking. The best guild I ever played in was Method. My road to get there, I treaded on a lot of people. I also helped a lot of people along the way too. You can rewatch it on here. I'm not sure if I'm going to upload it to YouTube because it's like 2 hours long of me ranting and telling stories. This is more for you guys. It's more of a give back because I know a lot of you like watching the videos. Can you let me know, guys, before I go? A few things actually. Let's get off the story topic. I've told enough stories for tonight. If any of you are any good with video editing, we are looking for anybody who could just contribute. Or if you're any good at it and you've got some time, the web show intro, you know the one where it says it's Saturday night and it's like 4 or 5 fucking... It's awful. Let me play it for you now. This is what we want, a decent web intro. Now, I am no good with any form of... I do my best with the video editing, but I only just recently learned I could have enhanced the Council of Ballers episode 1. For those of you guys who saw that, is that I was fully capable of actually upping the image quality. That's how shitty I am with this stuff. Literally, I do what I know. Let me see if I've got the clip here. This one now. That clip, I need to do some... No, not the Transballers one. I can do that stuff. The funny stuff is fine. The funny stuff is anything we can whip up. In fact, my brother suggested that we should do a sort of fucking... a little video like the Transballers one every week. Every web show. So that gives me 2 weeks to do it. I'm going to try and do that. But I'm also editing episode 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 of the web series as well in between time. I'm going to try and do that. But we are looking for anything that could sort of spice up that web show intro. Because the web show is something we enjoy doing more than the YouTube stuff. I love doing the YouTube stuff. But this web show where, especially when Ghost is here and he's not slacking at home like a loser, is all... is the best. This is the stuff we really enjoy. Like last week's show, I think we did a show for our usual show is an hour and a half. We did it for 2.5 hours last week, and it was one of the most enjoyable things we've done. It was fucking awesome. So anybody you can think of, any just sort of, I don't know, be creative. We don't mind. I mean, we had sort of ideas of stuff. We were especially hoping if we could get clips of people bro-fisting in various places, you know, to play at the beginning, just like. Various brofist clips in different places around the world, because we have people watching from Australia and, you know, Europe and America and all that shit. Is just those little fucking, just a brofist fucking clip of, you know, of Australia, shit, some shit like that, you know. We just play at the beginning to show you guys, because we're here for you guys, you know. We don't do this for any other reason. We can, you know, we can quite happily have the conversations we have on, what's that it? Brofist idea is genius. Well, I thought of it before. I said, why don't we just... Because, you know, like we said last time, when we didn't start the fucking show, because people are telling us that they've been so fucking shit on by elitist arseholes, like I used to be, in the internet, from places like Reddit or wherever they might post, that they don't even want to speak to me in this chat. Fuck that. It's fucking... we don't want that, so I'm quite happy to fucking... I want to see the brofist, because last week when we said, can you give us a holler, I think we had 109 or something people in the channel, the most people we've ever had, and you could not imagine the joy of seeing the fucking chat fill up with all those hollers. It was fucking amazing, and, you know, we want to start every show with something like that, just a brofist while you're out there, brofist with people or anything like that. I think that would be nice. Yeah, Zap's sorting about the green screen. Tell me what you think. I know the green screen's not brilliant. The problem is, this is our lighting rig. Okay, we have no money to make this show. Otherwise, I would have a fucking background. It's very easy for me. I have the software to turn that green screen and chroma key it while I'm live streaming. And we have another green screen to put up. The general problem seems to be this is our lighting. And this room, I'm afraid, guys, this is the light. This is my lighting for my green screen. Woo! That's the lighting for the green screen. And we have 2 of those, so we can light up the green screen. The problem seems to be, 1, we got the wrong colour green screen. 2, we got shit lights. And this room is... I can't lie down in this room, it's that fucking small. It's that small, so I can't use the umbrella lights because there's not enough room, you know? There's just not enough room to put like umbrella lamps in. I'd like to get it. I mean, the green screen's not that bad, but it can certainly be miles improved. I mean, the actual fucking... The main thing I want to improve is the microphone. That's our next purchase if we ever get any YouTube money from TGN, which we should do, is to get a microphone. Because the audio quality when I stand up, it needs to be a certain type of green. You see like Haynes 84's green, that really bright, almost neon green? That's the kind of green it needs to be. This green is too dark, although it looks really bright. As you can see, it's not quite there. So yeah, anybody who's any good with video editing, we are looking for a new web show intro that's more, especially because we can get rid of the Saturday night stuff, because if I do things like this on a Friday, it just looks fucking stupid. Paint it. I asked about that to my fiance. She's good with paint, and she said it'll all crack off and go hanging, so I can't do that either. And we actually have 2 of them. I've got another green screen there, because what I'd like to do, no, they need to be sort of diffused white lights is what I'm